Hello guys, welcome to the end of term 2 exam revision videos. Now we will quickly go through the exam scheme before we start with the video explanation. I hope you must have gone through this already. Here we have three parts. The first part and the second part. There are 10 questions each, and they are in computer. They'll be in terms of MCQs. Whereas the last part, part 3, you will have 5 questions which will be in writing. Even the bonus questions, 2 bonus questions of 5 marks each, will be added in the writing part, part 3. Now, all the page numbers and example exercise numbers have been mentioned, which objective is mentioned for the 23 questions. And the presentation is already shared, which has all these mentioned questions. You may not get the same question, the values might be changed or similar question will be asked, but the concept or the objective is the same. The part 1 will have 10 questions with 3 marks each, whereas for the part 2 it is 5 marks each for each question. And the last part 3, there are 3 known questions. They carry about 4 to 8 marks, and the bonus is 5 marks each. There are 2 questions. Now, before I start the videos, I want to let you know the videos which I do for the part 1 and part 2 for the calculator, for the computer, the MCQs will be shortcuts, may not be the exact method which you study throughout the term in your classes, in the regular classes. Over here, just for your exams, I might, tell you the easiest way possible, or the calculator method, or the shortcut, sometimes deducing the answers from the options and so on. Whereas the last 3 questions is in writing, so everything will be taught, must be written in detail, so it will be shown how exactly you must write and solve. So stay tuned for each videos. I'll be uploading all of them in this channel. If you like these videos, if you find this helpful, do subscribe to my channel and you can like these videos. All the best, guys. Happy learning. The first topic in the part 1 is to know about circles. We need to know the definitions and about the circumferences. Now, name of the circle, over here they have given us a figure. We need to find the name of the circle, name of the radii and chord. So before we begin, let us see the circle. The center is one of the important points of a circle. The center over here denotes the name of the circle as well. This is how we denote circle. Now imagine if you have a circle and a dot inside, we can read it as circle. Now which is this letter? O. This is this circle O. Name of this circle is circle O. Now imagine this was some other letter M. It would have been circle M. That's the thing. Now, radius is a line which starts from the center and goes to the ends of the circle. You know, the edge of the circle over here. So this is a radius. Over here we have a radius and so on. And the diameter is again similar to a radius, but it passes through the center, but both the ends will touch the ends of the circle. See this line, both the ends are touching the circle, and it also passes through the center. This is a diameter. A chord is similar to diameter, but it does not meet the requirement of passing through the center. See now, CD, it doesn't pass through the center, but 2 ends touch the circle. So this is a chord. Even this AB is a chord, but AB is also a diameter. So now let's answer these over here. Name of the circle was circle O. Name of the radii, it can be AO, OB, CD, DO, all those possible. Chords, there are 2, AB and CD. Similarly, you please try to solve this. This is the figure, and you can answer this. All are simple and easy. Let's just look at the last one. Name a radius not drawn as a part of diameter. What it means is, now look at this. This is a diameter, so there are 2 radius. So, which radius is not a part of the diameter? See now, for example, PC, this is not extended as a diameter, right? So that is the answer over here, PC, line PC. The line above the alphabets denotes it as a line. This over here is a circle. Now we will quickly go through a few of the simple problems. they have given the dimensions over here now. You can see AB is told to be 18. See, this is AB, 18. Now, what is AR then? AB is the diameter. So you can see diameter is always 2 times radius. Okay, there are two radiuses over here. So now if diameter is 18, radius will be half of the diameter. Just divide it by 2. You'll get it. That's 9 and 9 over here. So AR is the radius, so half of it. Similarly, RY is 10. They're asking us to find AR and AB. So AR is again a radius, RY is a radius, so they are equal, that is 10, but AB would be 20. So AR is 10, AB is diameter 20. Now, over here, AB and XY, are they equal? I mean, this is a congruent symbol. AB and XY, yes, they are congruent because they both are diameters. See, these are the things. Diameters or the radii of circle, they are all congruent to each other. Diameter is congruent to other diameters, radii are congruent to other radii. Similarly, please do solve the next problem by yourself and then check the answers over here. The second topic is about inscribed polygons. You can see over here, a triangle is inscribed inside a circle. Now, before we begin this topic, you must remember inscribed angle theorem. That is, this angle over here is inscribed. The opposite open angle over here would be 2 times this angle. So now imagine this is 60, then this bigger angle would be 120. Or say this angle is given to be 80, and then you can see this is the inscribed. Over here would be 40, half of it. So this was a theorem which we had studied already. But now if you look closely, this is a diameter and this angle would be 180 degrees. The inscribed over here is 180, so y would be a right angle 90. So that's the thing. You can see over here WXY is a right angle because, sorry, the triangle WXY is a right angle because y is 90 degree. So this is very important. Now, we know the total angle of a triangle is 180 degrees. This is already 90. So the remaining two angles over here must be complementary. It can only be 90. So whenever you add this, it must be a total of 90 degrees. This is very important. So now here x plus 12 plus x must be equal to 90. Now you might remember 90 degree is called complementary. Complementary. So just remember, complement is being something for, you get compliments for being right or something like that. So 90 degree means complementary angle. Supplementary would mean 180 degree. But now if you understand the concept, you don't even need to remember that. You can just apply. Now over here, x plus 12 will be equal to 90. And you can easily solve this. You can solve it directly in calculator, or you can just take it to the other side and solve it up. However you do, you'll get the same answer. So over here, after simplifying, you'll get 39. So that is x value. Now if they had asked you angle W, because sometimes in exam they'll ask you angle W, so then you should remember it's not over here. Now in this case, x, it's over class, or this is the answer. But sometimes they will ask you what is the angle of W. So then please put x plus 12, put this x back over here, 39 plus 12, and this would be the final answer. Because last year in your exams, many times they'll ask you such angles, and if you just find the x, it's not the final answer, so that would be wrong. You need to continue. So please look carefully to the question, what they ask. Now in this case, it's just the x degree and it's fine. Now we here measure W. See over here, the second part is to find x plus, same thing, just add 12 over here, you will get the answer. Same way, please try this by yourselves and check the answers over here. Everything is solved. They're pretty straightforward once you understand, because always remember, it is inscribing, when it's inscribing a semicircle, this over here will be 90 degrees. So over here, this would be a right angle. Over here, it's right angle, and over here, it's right angle. And the same method is employed. Now, what about this type of problems where we have quadrilateral? Now, you can see over here, this this has now you must remember one of the formula. Sorry, whenever you see a figure like this, a quadrilateral being inscribed, please note the opposite sides are always supplementary, the opposite sides, the opposite ones. Now, what that means is if you add the angle P plus angle R, you will get supplementary angle that is 180 degrees. If you don't remember supplementary, it's fine. Just remember when you add two opposite angles, it'll be 180 degrees. If you remember that, then it's very, very straightforward because over here, you need to find measure of R. So R is, P is over here 75 and R is 3x. All you need to do is put it in the calculator or directly take 75 to the other side. Simplify, it'll be 105 over here, 180 minus 75, 3x. 3 goes over 30, 35, I guess. So yes, it's x is 35, so you can easily solve it. But now it is not over x is 35 degrees, but remember, you need to solve for r. Now, angle r is given by 3x, so multiply 3x. This is the answer, 105. It would be 105 degrees. So similarly, please try the other problems. Do solve it by yourself and then check the answers over here. Now we will solve problems on tangents and secants. Over here you can see there are only secants. A tangent is a line which touches only one part of the circle and never comes inside the circle. In the sense, now this is not a tangent. Neither this is, not even this. It should not be inside. It should be just that it touches one point. Now, I'm sorry for my drawing over here, but I am trying to say that this is really not a tangent, but what I'm trying to say is it just touches one point and never any other point of the circle. Whereas secant is a line which cuts the circle. This is easy to differentiate. Now, to solve these problems, you must remember the formula of secant, the angle over here or over here. There's a formula. Now, they are asked to measure the angle 2. This is the angle 2. Now, it is this particular angle can be solved with the information of these two arcs. Now, it says that half of the sum of these two, that is 30 plus 55, would be this particular angle. Even this angle is same because they are vertical angles. These both will be the same angle. If you have to solve this, it's half of sum of these two or anything. Both these angles will be same because they are vertical opposite angles. Now, over here, half of 30 plus 55. 30 plus 55 is 85. And half of 85 is 42.5. So that will be the answer. Same way you can solve other problems. They are very, very simple. Now, over here, you can see they have asked you to find the measure of arc GH. But they have given this angle. So we know this particular angle, say 45 degrees, is obtained by using the formula half of 28 plus this arc GH. So I will write it as x. So now if I solve this, I will get the answer. You can solve it directly in your calculator using equation because the first part 1 and part 2 is just MCQs. Directly put this as unknown variable and solve it. Or what you can do is simplify this. Take 2 to the other side, will become 90 equals 28 plus x. Now you need only x, so take this 28 to the other side. It will be 90 minus 28, that is 62 equals x. So this particular arc is 62 degrees. So that's how. Please do try this and compare the answers. Now over here, it's same thing. You just find this angle. Say you over here when you solve, you will get 43. So now this is 43. But the problem is not over because they want this particular measure. And you can see this is a straight line. So angles in a straight line sum up to be supplementary or 180 degrees. So I know this is 43 subtracted from 180. 180 minus 43 will be the remaining angle. Why? Because the total is always 180, and I found out one of the angle is 43. What is the remaining angle? Subtract it, you will get the answer. It's 137. So it's very simple. And now this is the answers of the previous problems. There is one more type. What if there are tangents? Okay, they have told, assume the segments that appear to be tangents are tangents. See, now if it looks like a tangent, see, this is supposed to look like a tangent, that means it's a tangent. So it's coming at the end of the circle, right? So they are all tangents. Now, how do we solve this? There is a formula for this. Now, over here, it's a very simple one. It's half, always half. The angles will be half of the arcs, but you see a tangent and a secant, then just half of this arc would be the answer. So half of 168 is the answer. That's it. Now over here, measure of angle 3 is half of this big arc. Nothing else. Because this is a tangent and this is a secant. The formula states half of the arc will be this particular angle that is formed with the secant and the tangent. That's how we solve it. Now they have asked to find the arc of RT, whereas they have given this particular angle. Now it's very obvious. You just multiply this by 2 because half of the arc would be this particular angle. Now 74 multiplied by 2 would be the answer. It'll be 150 minus 2 is 148, yes. So that would be the answer. And I hope it is clear. It is okay. Now I will just quickly solve this one. It's all same, but they have just given the given values are different. Now over here you need to you have been you have to find this particular angle, that is measure of angle 6. But this particular arc is unknown. But you know this side. So how much is the total angle of a circle? If you think, you will remember it's 360 degrees. So now one part, half the some part of the circle is 160. So the remaining must be 360 minus 160. That would be 200. So whatever is remaining over here is 200. So now half of 200 would be the answer. So that is 100 degrees, half of 200. So you can directly put this half of 360 degrees, the total circle, minus 160, that would give you this answer. So that's how you can solve. Please do solve it by yourself and then double check the answers. Moving on to the next topic, it is about fundamental counting principle. Now, fundamental counting principle is basically like a sample space where you can find the total possibilities of a particular situation. Now we have real world problems. They are very interesting. Now the first problem is about a video game that lets you decorate a bedroom using one choice from each category. Now you can decorate the bedroom based on the paint color or the comforter size, sheet set, throw a rug over here, or the lamp or wall hangings. Now over here there are so many paint colors. Imagine there is red, blue, green, yellow, violet, and it goes on about 8 colors, okay? And there are comforter size. Imagine there's size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and sorry, this is 3 and 6. Same way, there are sheet sizes. Imagine 1, 2, 3, and so on. Similarly, you get the point, right? There are so many different choices. Now, the total possibility can be so many because imagine I chose red as the color. Then I chose this particular option, this. Okay, that's fine. All these are selected. Then another option could be red. The option over here can be two and then all the same, but that is a separate option. Then with blue, 2, 3, there are so many possibilities. It's amazing. But how can you easily solve it? It's very simple. The fundamental counting principle states that if you just multiply all the different categories, you will get the answer. Let's try that. Let's, oh, that was, anyways, let's multiply all this over here. 6868 multiplied by 535. And the answer you get 28,800 is the total possibilities. These many ways are there to decorate the bedroom over here. Same way you can try the other problem and check your answers. This is about different meal combination. Now over here, let's see. On a website showcasing outdoor patio plans, there are 4 types of stone, 3 types of edging, 5 dining sets, 6 grills. So it's again all these different categories. How do we solve? Just multiply them together, you'll get the answer. Same way over here. Please go through this, solve by yourself, and then try. So, and over here we have a spinner is shown which is used in a board game. If spinner is spun 4 times, how many different possible outcomes are there? So let's think about it. There are 6 possibilities in this particular spinner. You spin once, there are 6 possibilities for an answer. Then you're going to spin again. You need to keep on multiplying. So if you spin 2 times, there'll be total 36 possibilities. Then if you do it again, times 6, then times 6. It'll be 6 to the power 4, so it'll be 1,296 different possible outcomes. This is how we can easily solve them. Please do solve it by yourself and then check the answers over here. The next topic is on probabilities. Probability is basically trying to formulate or trying to get an understanding about random events or chances. Now, say for example, you toss a coin. What is the probability it's going to be head? So the theoretically, the answer is 50%. And the tails will also be 50% because there are only 2 possible outcomes. But in reality, sometimes you toss a coin for the 5 times, for 5 times, and all the 5 might be winding up as head. So that means the probability of tail was 0 and 100% was head. But the thing about this is, the theoretical probability is always what will happen if you do lots of tries. But if you try this experiment for 100 tries or 1,000 tries, then no matter what, your probability will be very close to 50. It may not be 50, it will be, say, 48 or 49%. So this is the beauty of probability. So we are trying to model out, chances. Now over here, they have asked a question. What is the probability of drawing a card from a standard deck and not getting a spade? Now, standard deck means, I'm sure most of you might have played cards and you know cards very well. So now, there are 4 suits, that is spades. Now, spades is something like, okay, that is very bad spades, but anyways, that is a spade. Then there's hearts, diamonds, and clovers. So clovers is like a tree over here, like there's 3 things, okay? Now, okay, this spade is really, really bad, so I'll just do a better one. Okay, something like this. Okay, at least something better. Now, these are the 4 suits. How many of these cards are there? If you count, it'll be 13 in each. So there are 13, 13, 13, and 13. So now, the standard deck only considers these 4 suits and 13 cards of these. The jokers are not included. So it is 52 cards only. So you must remember, whenever they ask you questions about probability, standard deck means only 52 cards. So they are not asking the probability of getting a spade. They're asking what is the probability of not getting a spade. So this basically works by, if you know, before I continue with this problem, let me just tell you this. There is a probability of 25% that it will rain. 25% that, say, on a particular day, it's going to rain. Now, if I ask you, what is the probability it will not rain? So that would mean 100 minus 25. that would that would be the percent. 75% it will not rain, only 25% it's gonna rain. Percentages always add up to 100. The same way over here, if you see, it is p, whatever the thing you don't want, right? Not getting a spade, that probability is 1 minus probability of getting it. Same way, now over here, just now I did in percentages. Say 25% is 0.25. Sorry, it's 0.25. Probability that it will rain. It won't rain is 1 minus 0.25, that is 0.75. So that is the answer. Similarly, let's try over here. The probability of getting a spade. We know there are 13 spades and the total cards are 52. So this is the probability of getting a spade. So 1 minus 13 by 52 is the answer. So if you put it in the calculator, you're going to get 3 by 4. That is 75, 0.75 or 75%. That's how we can solve this. Very easy. Similarly, you can solve these. The explanations are written over here in detail. Over here, what is the probability of flipping a coin and not landing on tails? See, now this is some of this. You do not need to solve all this. You can directly tell the answer. Probability of flipping a tail is 50%. Not flipping is also 50%. So that's it. That is 0.5. Now, percentage, 50%, or you can solve it as, decimal, just divided by 100%. This symbol means it's divided by 100. It is always per divided by cent. Cent is 100. So that will be 0.5. Or you have the symbol in the calculator directly. You can put the symbol as well. It's up to you. Now we Carmela purchased 10 raffle tickets. If 250 were sold, what is the probability that the ticket will not be drawn? Same way. The 10 she has chosen, so the probability of winning is 10 by 250. Not winning is 1 minus that. So 96% chances that a ticket won't be drawn. Similarly, please do try this by yourselves and then check the answers. Now, these are all similar. And sometimes you do not even need to solve this. See, for example, a survey found that about 90% of the junior class is right-handed. If one is chosen in random out of 100, what is the probability that she is left-handed? So 90% in this, that is 90 of them are right-handed. How many are left-handed? 10%. That is 0.1. That's it. So you can just look into it and even solve it easily. Same way you can go through these. Now over here, at a Riverview High School, 120 students were asked whether they prefer a lion or a timber wolf as the new school mascot. What is the probability that a randomly selected student will have voted for lion as the new school mascot? Now over here, they need a logo. I mean, it's either lion, timber wolf. They have two choices, and the votes over here for lion are 78. They want to know if they choose a student in random, what is the probability that that student had voted for lion? So the probability, this can be solved by number of desired outcomes. See, now this is what we are looking for. Desired is 78 divided by total outcomes. That is 120. So this would be the probability. If you solve this, you'll get the answer. It's 78 divided by 120 or 13 by 20 or 0.65. You can see the lions are leading than the timber wolf. So it's about 65% votes are for lion, whereas the remaining 35 are for timber wolf. I hope this is clear. This is the last problem of this. In Ivan's senior class of 240 students, 85% are planning to attend college after graduation. What is the probability that a senior chosen at random is not planning to attend the college after graduation? Again, it's very easy, very simple. Now, 240, 85% are planning. What is the probability percentage that it won't be attending? It's 15%. 15% of 240 will be the answer. So it's 15% over here. That's it. So 0.15. Now, some of these you do not need to solve. You can directly, look into the problem and understand the answer. So make sure you go through these, solve it by yourself, and then check the answers. Going on to the next topic, it is solving systems of linear equation by graphing. It is in part 1, topic 6. Before we start, let us look into these three cases. This is very important, consistent and inconsistent. So now before we see these cases, let's talk about the word consistent and inconsistent. Consistent means having solution. It may be 1, 2 or infinite. Whereas inconsistent means without solution. So now these two lines over here do not touch each other. So that means they are inconsistent. Whereas over here they are touching each other at every point because they are the same line. Therefore, there are infinite solution. It's consistent. Over here, you can see only one point it will touch and it will never touch each other again. So it's consistent with one solution. Now, when there is only one solution, these lines are independent. They do not need each other other than this point. So they are in their separate ways, or you can call them independent. Whereas when they are the same line, they are dependent of each other because they are the same line. So consistent independent is one solution intersecting only at one point, whereas dependent consistent independent is infinite solution because they are same line. And lastly, inconsistent means parallel lines. They will never touch each other. So there is no solution. Now we will start solving. Since this is in the part 1, you will have MCQs for this problem. You will have 4 options. So you can do it in various methods. I will tell you one of the easiest method. Instead of graphing and then solving, you can easily try and solve this up. Now, first thing, if you're using the calculator method, you must remember you need to know the standard formula to solve this in calculator. These are simultaneous equations. There are 2 equations. Now, if you press mode, equations are given at option 5. That is option 5 gives the equation. And you can see the option 1, it is ax plus by equals c. And I'll write it over here. It's ax plus by equals c. That's constants. Now, x is the x term and a is the coefficient. Coefficient means anything before that. Then y is the y term and anything before that. That's the coefficient of y. And the c is numbers. So now let me first solve a easy problem, say for example, which is already over here. Say now this one. It is in the standard form, the 6th problem. So 3 is a, and in the second equation, there's nothing. That means it's 1. When you multiply 1 with anything, it's the same. So we don't write 1, it's just x. Okay. So now we will just put in the values. From mode, it's from mode 5 is equation and option number 1. Because all the others do not correspond to this particular question. So you can see it's cubic, quadratic, or you need to have z term. But only the option 1 is suiting this particular problem. So it's 1. So the coefficient of x, first is x, that is 3. Then y, it's -1. And lastly, right of equal to sign is the number, that's 2. And over here we have 1, again 1, and lastly 6. So now over here we got a solution. See, x is 2 and y is 4. What it means is it's 2 comma 4. So the graphs, if you graph them, they will intersect at one particular point, that is 2 comma 4. That is the solution region. So you can see there is one number of solution and these are consistent because there is solution and they are independent. That is the answer. So without graphing, just by the calculator you can solve it up. And over here in this case, you must make sure that you will write it in the standard form. Say for example, take this 3x to the other side. You will have 3x, it will become minus. Subtract 3x on both the sides. Plus y equals, there is nothing over here, so it's 0. And over here, take the 3x to the other side, it'll be positive 3x plus y equals 2. Now we can just put it over here, mode 5 and 1, and it will be minus 3, 1, 0, 3, 1 and 2. And the answer is 1 by third and 1. It doesn't matter, you don't need to know the answer, it's just that you're getting a solution. That means over here it is one solution and it's consistent and independent. But now what if they are infinite or it is no solution? Say for example inconsistent. Let me first solve for this one over here, like say infinite over here. Even the second one, you should just arrange it in the standard form and then solve it up. Now the fifth one, it's already arranged. I'll just put the values in. 1, 2, and 5. Over here, it's 3 minus 5. Sorry. Here, x coefficient is 3. The 6y must be brought inside and 15 goes to the other side. based on the standard form. So it'll be plus 6. And lastly, we have 15. Now, in some of the computer calculators, they might give you infinite solution as it is, but some just give you a syntax error, or sorry, math error. So whenever you get math error, there can be two cases. It can be either infinite solution or no solution. So how do we find it? Now, whenever you get a math error, please simplify your equations. Just simplify them. So here it is already simplified. There is no coefficient. So just simplify the first equation. Second equation. I'll write it in the standard form 3x plus 6y equals 15. Now this can be divided by 3. So both the sides you need to divide 3. So you can split this because it's plus. You're remaining with x, because 3 and 3 cancels, x plus 2y equals 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now look at the above equation and this particular equation. They are the same equation. That means it's the same line, and we know for same line we will have infinitely many solutions, and it's consistent and dependent. From the over here, the three cases, the same line means the same equation, isn't it? It's consistent and infinite solution. That's the answer. Now, what about inconsistent, where there's no solutions? Let us solve this in calculator also. Quickly, modify 1. And all you need to do is put in the coefficients, and it's 6, 2, and 10. And again, in some calculators, they show you it's no solution, but others, they will tell you math error. So then over here as well, please simplify the equation. Just the below equation, 6x plus 2y equals 10. Because you can't simplify this, it's already 1, so you won't be able to simplify this one. This can be simplified. Divide everything by 2. Why 2? Because you need to make this as simple as possible, and 2 is divisible in all. And over here it will be 3. This cancels, and over here it's 5. So the final equation would be 3x plus y equals 5. Now look at these two equations. The x coefficient, this is the slope, it's same, okay? That means it is parallel lines, the slopes are same, but you can see the equations are not same. So you're getting, in calculator, you're getting a math error, and over here, when you simplify the equations, you are not getting the same equation. You're getting different values at the constants. That means the y-intercept at one equation is at 5, and one more is at -2. So if you graph this, you will get lines something like this. Sorry, it will be negative slope. It will be downwards. The graph would be something like this. You can just graph it. This will be touching 5 and this will be -2. You can try it by graphing. But now the easier method would be just try it in calculator. If you get a math error, simplify the equations and see if the equations are same, then that means it's infinitely many solutions. But if the equations are different, then it's 0 solutions and inconsistent. So that is how you can solve. Over here, you can do the same thing, but over here, in this case, they have asked you to solve the system of equations. That's it. You need to, find the answers. So it's very simple again. Whatever we did just now, over here, make sure you have it in the standard form, that is ax plus by equals c. Now over here, xy is in the standard form. The first equation is in standard form. So I'll write 1, -2, and 0. The next one, take this 2x to the other side, or subtract both the sides by -2x. Subtract both the sides by 2x. It'll be -2x plus y equals -3. And one important thing, remember, x always must be first. Okay, you can see over here in the modify, in the first option, x is first, then comes y. So x is first, then it's y, and then the constant. So x first, y, and then lastly the constant. So the answer is 2 and 1. So this is how we can easily solve. And if at all you will not get any solution like math error, then simplify this, and if at all they are the same equations, then that means it's infinite solutions. Whereas if you don't get a same equation, that means it's no solution. Please try it by yourself and then check for the answers. In the seventh topic, we need to solve absolute value inequalities. Now, this is not a difficult topic at all. It's an easy one, but it's a lengthy topic. It takes a lot of time to solve this particular one. How can you do it simpler or easier? Now, I'll tell you the normal way which we have studied throughout the term in the regular classes, where we basically graph this up. So graphing is done by table. You assume x values and find the y values, plot the points, and you will get the answer. You will get the graph. And then you can see it's less than or equal to 0. That means it's this region. So this is the solution region. You'll find the answer. Now, this was done in the regular classes, but over here, since it is in part 1, that is, first 20 questions are in MCQs and computer, you can easily solve them by tricks. So I will tell you an easy trick to solve these. Look, you will have 4 options. There'll be 4 graphs, or there'll be 4 solution sets. Now, how would you solve this? You can directly start by putting in the calculator. See, now this symbol over here, it's better you clear your calculator if you regularly. Now you can just put the symbol, that is the absolute value symbol, by pressing shift and ABS. If you press this, now you're getting this symbol. Now all you need to do is type the equation as it is, all the left hand side. 2x, that is over here, minus 6. X is by alpha, and this symbol over here will give you x, unknown variable, minus 4. That's it. Now press shift, I need to press equal to 0. I have to write the entire equation, just that ignore the inequality, make it equal to. Anyway, even over here, just ignore the inequality and make it equal to. Now press shift and solve. It'll solve for the variable. After pressing shift and solve, you need to press equal to. You will get the answer. Now the thing about this is you will just get one answer. You won't get both the answers. So one of the answer is 1. Okay. So now this will help you a lot because you will have 4 options. At least you will eliminate 1 or 2 options in that. So you will have 1 as one of the correct answer. Then there'll be one more answer. So what will you do then? So all you need to do is you can just substitute this value back over here and you should solve the equation. Now, what I mean by that is, now imagine over here, I put this as multiply by 5 minus 6 minus 4. This must be equal to 0. Similarly, if I solve for 1, if I do this over here 1, because the absolute value is there, I must get 0. So now only 2 of your correct answers will give you this particular, it'll solve you, and whatever it is there in the right hand side will be the answer. So this is how you can check your answers. Now, so you can easily understand where the graphs are. This too would be the graph points. It's 1 and 5. So this is the correct answer. Now, what about these inequalities? Now, you might have remembered whenever this less than or equal to symbol comes, now if you have an absolute value and then you have less than or equal to, the x will be within the 2 values. Now, you got how much? 1 and 5. Write it in ascending order, and x will be greater than 1 but will be less than 5. Or since over here less than or equal to is there, you must mention these signs. Imagine it was just over here less than. Then it would be less than and less than. Now what about this over here, greater than? Let's solve that problem now. Same way. Over here it should be 2 alpha x minus 1 and solve it up. Equal to 4. Now when you solve it, equal to 4, shift and solve, press equal to, you'll get 5 by 2 or 2.5. See, one of the answer is obtained. So now check for the other options which have 2.5, because we know 2.5 is correct answer. Substitute instead of x remove this equal to whatever is over here in one of the side only, okay? You must get the right hand side. So instead of x, just put the value. See, one option will have 5.2 is 5 by 2 is correct. Let's try this. Minus 3 by 2. Close the bracket. And now if you press equal to, you will get the right side. Over here it's 4. But let me just change this. I'll put it as 1. See, now I'm getting 2. It's wrong. The right side was 4. Last time it was 0. We got 0. Now it's supposed to be 4 over here. When you put the two correct values, you'll get the answer 4. No other values will give you correct. So now the answer over here, we understood the two x values are minus 3 by 2, that is 1.5, minus 3 by 2, and 2.5, that is 2 by 5. Okay, what now? Now, since these two values, see, it's greater than, you can't write like this. This would be wrong. Because when it's less than, we use the symbol. See, this is how. It'll be within the range. Now the solution region is outside because it's greater than. See, this is the graph, it's greater. That means outside. Less than would be within. It's not within, it's outside, you know. So now all you need to remember is in such cases there'll be two answers. See, which is the smaller value over here? Negative 1.5 is less, right? So x will be less than or equal to that. That means this is the smaller value. It will be less than or equal to, whereas it will be greater than or equal to the bigger value, that is 2.5. So this will be the solution. That is how we write the solution. It will not change. We can try some other problems as well. Let's just look into the answers. Over here, you can see it's less than, only less than. So it will be within this. So this is the solution region. Okay, this would be the answer. The x values, I hope you understood just now whatever we did. That's how we solve it. If you're getting confused, pause the video, rewind it, and listen to it again. You'll understand it. But now look over here, it's greater than or equal to. You will have two answers, which is small. Negative 8 by 3 is smaller than 4 by 3. So what do? X will be less than or equal to negative 8 by 3, whereas x will be greater than 4 by 3. So this is how we could solve. Over here they have asked you to use graphing calculator, but you do not have it. If you don't have also, because you guys will not be using graphing calculator generally, no worries. What you can do is you can just follow whatever method I told and you can easily solve it. Now, let me show you one thing over here. Let me try solving this one. It's 2 divided by 5 and then shift and absolute alpha x minus 5. I need to multiply over here plus 1. If I press shift and solve over here, it'll take some time. It'll give you a math error or it tells you can't solve because there are no real numbers. There's no solution. When this is the case, then you must know there is no solution for this particular graph because it'll never touch the x-axis. Similarly, let's do this one over here in the left hand side just to show you. Now over here, this part is gone. So we have 1 by 4 is 0.25, so I'll just write it as 0.25, or you can write it as 1 by 4 plus 4 minus 1 over here. Now when I need to press equal to 0, shift and solve, I'll get one of the answers, whereas over here I did not get any answer. See, I will show, I think so I have not put the equal to 0, sorry for that, but I'll just do it again by putting the values. So I will just do this again, I'm sorry, because I do not remember whether I put this equal to or no. So it is shift and absolute alpha x minus 5 plus 1. Just make sure you write it as it is. But wherever equal to's are there, equal to symbol is there, just don't solve it. Now press shift and solve. It'll take time. And yes, it shows it can't solve. So whenever you get this can't solve, provided you have written the equation properly, double check the equation. If you have made a mistake, then again it might come can't solve. But that is a problem, that is an error. But make sure you write it properly, and then wherever inequality is, they just put the equal to sign and press shift and solve, and then equal to, you will get the answer. In this case it's not possible to be solved. In other cases it'll give you at least one of the answer, and then you can easily find the other answer as explained before. If you find this method confusing, you can stick to the normal method, the regular method, where you basically have to do a table, graphs, table with different points x and y, and then graph it and then find the solution. It's up to you, but this is much more quicker, I feel, and simpler because you will be given the other options, the MCQs. The eighth topic is about quadratic equations. Quadratic equation, as you can see, has power 2. The maximum power in any equation, if it is power 2, x power 2, then it's quadratic. If it is just x, it's linear. If it is x to the power 3, it becomes cubic, and so on and so forth. So now, over here, this is a quadratic equation. But in this first three problems, they have also given the graphs to you. Now it's very easy to find which is the solutions. Whenever the graph touches or cuts or intercepts the x-axis, that is a solution. Now see over here, it touches the x-axis. This is a solution. This is a solution. Over here, there's only one point. This is the solution. But what about over here? Here you can see there is no real solutions because it does not touch the x-axis. See over here there would be no real solutions, whereas over here it is -2 and 5. And over here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. That's how we find. Or otherwise you can use your calculator directly to solve it. That is mod phi. And you can see this is power 2. Where is power 2 over here? X power 2 in the option 3. So all you need to do is type in the coefficients. First, before x squared it's 1, and before x it is 2, and lastly the number constant is 3. Remember, all the coefficients must be inside and it must be equal to 0. This is the quadratic equation. So for example, I'll just show you mod phi, and if when before pressing 3 the standard form is there, can you see it? Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. The right side must be equal to 0. So if there is any number, take it inside over here and then solve it up. So it is simple 1, 2, and 3, and the answer over here is not a real number. You can see there is a solution with I. I is imaginary number, it's not real. So we don't have proper solutions. Whereas let's try the next one. 1, -3, and -10. Over here you will get the solutions as one of the solution was 5 and one more was -2. You can rechange it, it's fine, because both are x itself. One was -2 and one was 5. And over here, last one, same as just now, -1, -8, and -16. And now we get -4 only. See, you can see that's only x because there's only one solution. In the other case, it was x1 and x2. So this is how we can easily solve. And even over here, you can directly solve it. Say, for example, just put it in the calculator. It is 1, -10, and 21. The solution, x1 was 7 and x2 was 3. So two solutions. Even you can graph it and then find the solution. It's just the same thing. Either ways, the main thing, the solution over here is 3, 7. So this is how we do it. This is to find the equation directly. So this is your answers. So you will have many answers. If it is graphing, we will use the graphing method, which we generally do. There are various graphing methods, either the table method or from the solutions, or even using calculator, you can easily find the points. So it's up to you. Now, similarly over here, you can directly put it in the put it over here. Say, for example, let me do this. Mod phi 3. It'll be 1, 2, and 3. Again, we got an imaginary number. That means there is no real solutions. Whereas all the other times, if you say, see over here, If you put this, you will get proper answers. So it's very simple and easy. Do it by yourself, then check the solution over here. This topic is about imaginary numbers. It's a very interesting topic. Now let's look over here. We can see negative sign inside the square root. Let's try using our calculator. Square root of minus 63. You're getting a math error. Say for example you take square root of anything 0.001, you will get a math error. So anything having a negative number is a math error. Have you thought why? It's very simple. So what does square root exactly mean? Let me take a positive number 25. You might have known the answer is plus or minus 5. Whenever there is square root, it will be plus or minus 5. Why is that? It's because square root means you're multiplying a number by itself and getting this particular answer. So over here, you're multiplying 5 with 5 or minus 5 with minus 5 and you're getting the answer 25. Now you will realize one thing, whether it is a positive or a negative number, when you multiply it, you will get the answer to be positive itself. It will be plus 25 over here and plus 25 even over here. Why? Because minus and minus becomes plus. So there is no possible way to get a minus over here. Square root means over here it's 2 or multiples of 2, even numbers over here will have positive. So now when you have minus over here, it's wrong. This is a math error. So many centuries ago, not many, few I guess, so there was the same case. They used to never consider anything inside the square root to be true. They used to tell that's an error. But few of the mathematicians were finding the same answer. They were getting something like -1. So then they came to know this must be something because all the work they had done was right. And then they ultimately, instead of, considering them wrong, they just gave this number as I. This is an imaginary number. And that is true. This is not a real number. It's an imaginary number. So now, whenever you see a -1, that is written as I. So in a quadratic formula, imagine there is no solution. When you solve it in the calculator, you will get I, that is imaginary solutions. Now, we will quickly try solving these. They are very simple. All you need to do is remove the negative sign outside and then just solve the positive part, square root 48. The answer would be square root 48 and I. You can simplify this, however, this is part 1 in MCQs, so you can use your calculator directly. All you do is square root 48 and that's the answer. And then don't forget I. 4 root 3 I. This will become I. So that would be your answer. So now here it's written 4I root 3. It's the same thing. You can try all of these. Now, for example, eighth problem. Don't think it's complicated. It's very simple. Just don't add the negative sign. Multiply it with the root 3 and you will get the answer. Then, now over here, there are two i's. You must be very careful. -1 and -1. So basically it will become I multiplied by I. What does this mean? I times I is I to the power 2, right? But I to the power 2 is basically square root -1 the whole square. So the square root and root power 2 cancels. So you're remaining with -1. Basically, it's minus sign. So all you need to do over here in this case, the eighth problem, is add a minus sign. See? Over here, it'll be minus because there'll be two i's. Because I can see some of these problems. Let me just write few things. I, we know, is square root 1. If you have I to the power 2, that means in this case, we will get I into I. That is I power 2. Remember, square root -1, square root -1. And over here, the square root cancels. You will remain only with -1. What about I to the power 3? The square root power 2 is -1. Again, you multiply I. So basically, it'll just become minus I. That's it. And now, what about I to the power 4? So I to the power 4 means you're multiplying minus 1 with minus 1. I to the power 2 multiplied by I to the power 2. It'll become 1. So it's very simple. Just square this. Okay, you'll get this answer. Add one more I, you'll get this answer. Add one more I, basically it'll become negative 1 minus multiplied by minus sign, you'll get 1. So this is the thing. And now if you go further on, say I to the power 5, just remember I to the power 5 is after I to the power 4. So I to the power 5 is 4 plus 1. We know already I to the power 4 is 1. So what is I to the power 1 only? This is basically I, and it is negative 1. So this is how the continuation goes on. So now imagine we have I to the power 11. Don't be confused. How much how much part of this is divisible by 4? You should know the multiple of 4 over here. 4, 8, 8 is divisible, and this is not divisible by 4. So you can write it in terms like this. 8 plus 3. You must write it in terms of a number which is divisible by 4 and the remaining number. The plus number must be less than 4. So imagine now there was 39. We know 36 is divisible by 4 plus 3. Okay, so that is how we do it. And now all you need to do is discard this part, just leave I to the power 3. Now if you remember what is I to the power 3, that is the answer. It is minus I. That's it. So this is how you can easily solve it up. Try it by yourselves and then check the answers. Now for example, even over here, don't be confused. You need to individually solve these. See, for example, 4I, leave it over here. What is minus 6 squared? It will be 36 multiplied by 36. And then you have I power 2. So I power 2. Now over here, I power 2 plus I power 1 will be I power 3. 4 times 36 will be, over here it's written 144. Now remember, I power 3 is basically minus I. So this is your answer. It's very simple. If you remember what is I power 1, 2, 3, 4, you can easily solve it up. Please try to solve it by yourselves and then check the answers. And okay, there is one thing over here. This is also continuation up till 18 problem. Now these are again very simple. I'll tell you the easiest method to use. That's the calculator method. You can see they're all quadratic equations. So just press more, 5, and 3 is for quadratics. Type in the coefficients of x squared. Now there is no x over here. So all you need to do is put 0 because over here there is no x. That means it's 0x. It's not there. So it's not written. Okay. Don't write 1. If there was one coefficient, then x alone must be there. But over here there is nothing. Therefore it means it's 0. And then lastly, we have number 45. Now the answers are 3i and minus 3i. So similarly, you can solve the remainder. Just remember over here, you can solve it in many ways. You can even divide 9 both the sides and then simplify. But otherwise, you can use calculator. But if you're using calculator, get everything to one side. Minus 9x squared minus 9 equals 0, or you can use it as plus and plus, it's fine. Now all you do is substitute over here, minus 9, 0, sorry, I have not written all, minus 9, 0, and minus 9. The answer is I, plus or minus I. So this is the thing. Please solve the remaining and do check the answers. The last topic in the part 1 is the 10th topic, that is completing the square method. Now, completing the square method is a long one, and I'm sure throughout the term during the lessons this was explained in detail. Now, in these videos, I'm going to tell you the simplest and the easiest methods. And if you are comfortable with this, you can go with this. It's simple but lengthy. And now there are other methods to solve the same problem. And since part 1 and part 2, you will have MCQs, it is easy to deduce the answers with the known options. Now, before we start this topic, you must know few of the things. That is, equation of axis of symmetry is given by x equals negative b by 2a formula. Then the whole square formulas, if you're not using the completing the square method, then these are the formulas. The reason I'm not doing this is because many students ask me for alternate methods rather than completing the square method. And so this method can be employed, but you need to know the whole square formulas, which you have used many times before. That is a plus b the whole square equals a squared plus 2 times the ab and plus b squared. When there is minus over here, a squared remains same, but the negative 2ab becomes negative, and then the remaining is b squared. And over here, there's one more thing. Now, if at all you remember this, this is the parabola. A quadratic equation graphed is always graphed into parabola. Now, it will either go upwards, that is opening upwards, or downwards. When does it open up and down? It's very simple based on the sign of the equation. The a value, if it is positive, it'll open upwards. Whereas if it is negative, it'll be opening downwards. So you need to be thorough with this. And when it is positive over here, you can see the vertex will be at the bottommost minimum point. This will be the minimum point. Whereas over here, when a is negative, it'll be opening downwards, but you will have a maximum point. So these are few of the things, and with this information, you can easily solve problems. You need to write this function in vertex form, find the axis of symmetry, then find the vertex and determine whether it's maximum or minimum. Now, you will have four options. You can solve the options and come to this equation, or there is one method. That is, first, let us solve the vertex. That is minus b divided by 2a. So this is the formula. Let's substitute over here. Negative sign remains. This is the in the formula. B is 2. Now, before we go ahead, if you have forgotten the standard form, you can go to mod phi, and the third option is quadratic. This is the standard form. That is ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, b is the second value before x, and a is before x squared. That is nothing, so it is 1. Now, the answer over here would be negative 1. So, in the graph, if the graph is something like this, you know the axis of symmetry, this point, the x term of this point is negative 1. So now this is the vertex, axis of symmetry. So they are asked us to find the axis of symmetry over here. Sorry for that. Over here. Now that is negative 1. We have not done the vertex form. We'll wait for it. We will find, after finding axis of symmetry, let's find the vertex, because the x value is the same. But what about the y value? Now, in this equation, you know the x value. Just substitute x as negative 1 and find y. So y will be equal to, once you find the vertex axis of symmetry, minus 1 over here. Put that value, whatever answer you get, put it over here in the equation back. It will be minus 1 squared plus 2 into minus 1 minus 5. Let me just erase this. It will be minus 5. Now, when I solve this, I'll get 1 minus 2 minus 5, and the answer will be minus 6. So now I know this point is x value is minus 1 and the y value is 6. So the coordinates of the vertex, I'll write it. Axis of symmetry is minus 1. The vertex is minus 1 comma minus 6. This much information we have. And determine the maximum or minimum point. Now see over here, this is positive, so it'll open upwards, it'll have a minimum point. So this is minimum. We have still not finished the vertex form. So how, if you go back over here, you might have remembered this is the standard form of parabola. So now you can, if there is 1 over here, if it's simplified, you can easily solve it up. See how? Because we just now found the values, right? Over here it's anyways mentioned. The vertex h and k is given, and the standard form states a into x minus h. H is the vertex, x value of the vertex, minus x plus k. Now if I substitute everything, a is 1, so leave it. x minus 1 times minus becomes plus 1, the whole squared, sorry, I forgot it, minus 6. This will be the standard form. I mean the vertex form. You can write it like this, or there's one more method. If you remember the whole square formula, let's apply the whole square formula to this and let's solve. Now when I apply a whole square, it will be x squared plus 2 times x plus 1. And then what is remaining? Minus 6. So what happens is x squared plus 2x minus 5. So this will match the question given. So there are many methods. So these are the methods to avoid completing the square, completing the square method, and you will directly get the answer. If you're thinking, how did I get this? X plus whole square formula, it's a plus b the whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Just substitute over here and you will get the answer. So because you will be given the options, what you can do is, it depends on what they ask. First of all, you can easily solve for the vertex. You can find the axis of symmetry, maximum, minimum. If they have asked the vertex form, with that information you can deduce which is the correct option, or you can just expand the given options and get the answer. Same thing can be done for all the others, because all the vertex form. Now for example, this one, let me solve the last one. Other parts are all same. Say I'll just do this. Minus b by 2a, minus 6 divided by 2 times 3 will be minus 1. So x is minus 1. Now all I do is put this minus 1 in this equation. You can directly do it in calculator. Say now it will be 3 times minus 1. Please use brackets because negative sign is there. And when you square it, it will be positive. That's why I use bracket. So over here, sorry, lastly minus 1. Now I'm getting minus 4. So this is how we get x value of vertex is minus 1 and k value or the y value of vertex is minus 4. And now since over here it's positive, it is minimum value. Over here you can see it's negative, it will be maximum. This is all depending on the a value, whether it's positive or negative, whether it's less than 1 or greater than 1. Now we have found all this very easily. What about this? We will use the whole square formula. 3 multiply it with what? Use the formula. It will be x squared plus 2x plus 1, close the bracket, minus 4. Remember the brackets, this must be multiplied first. It will be 3x squared plus 6x plus 3 minus 4, and 3 minus 4 will be minus 1, and that's it. This will be minus 1. So this is the same as the question. So if you simplify over here, it will be minus 1, and you can see it matches. This is one method which you can easily employ. And there are some real world problems as well. It is very straightforward as well, but you need to thoroughly understand the question. Let's do one of this. The height of a firework at an amusement park celebration can be modeled by quadratic function. Now, the height of the fireworks are being modeled by quadratic functions. Now, suppose the firework is launched from a platform of 2 feet. Now, you're not starting from the ground. It's not started from the ground, not at zero height. The height is 2 feet above the ground. That is the initial height, h naught, ho, initial height is given 2 feet off the ground. So h naught is 2. Velocity is given as 96 feet per second. Use this function. This is given, it will be given in the question, where g is 32 feet per second. All the values are there. You need to represent this in an equation. So substitute the value. What is g? Put it over here. Half, negative half, g is 32 t squared. What is the velocity? Put over here. And lastly, the height. So just substitute all the values and simplify. 32 divided by 2 is 16. And the rest remains as it is. And everything is in terms of time. See, negative 16 t squared plus 96t plus 2. Now the next one is either completing the squared method, or you can easily solve it by just now whatever we learned, the same method, or just find the vertex and find the y value and substitute. You'll get so same. You can do many methods, you can get the same answer. And then lastly over here they have asked to find the vertex. So the equation we had over there, just solve for the vertex. It is minus b minus 36 divided by 2 into 16. So it'll be 96 divided by 32, 32, 64, 96. It'll be negative 3. So that will be, so sorry, I've missed one thing. This will be negative as well because it's negative 16. This cancels, it'll be plus 3. And the answer is plus 3 over here. Now, if you want to find this y value, just substitute this back over here instead of t. Let me do that. So take out your calculators. And now it is minus 16 bracket 3 square. You do not need to use bracket when it's positive, but it's a good habit to, use bracket all the times. 96 into 3 plus 2, and the answer is 146. This is how you get the vertex. And now since it's negative, it will be opening downwards and you will have a maximum value. So it is a maximum value. So this is how. Try this problem. It's similar. All the values are given just like what we saw just now. Same way. Try it by yourself and then check the answers. All the answers are shown over here. The 11th topic is to find the arc lengths and also convert between degree and radians. Now this arc length formula is very important. L equals, that's the arc length is equal to a part of the angle which is known. Say for example, if you want to find this over here, 50 degrees, x will be 50. So this arc can be found out with that. But provided you need to know the radius. So if you want to find JK, you need to know the radius and this particular angle, and easily you can solve. We will try to solve a few problems over here. Now, LM, let's see. Okay, before that, let's see this. They have told D is the D is the circle, and NL is the diameter. See, this is the diameter. So if this is the diameter, it's a straight line. See, these are not straight lines. They are all slanted. This is a particular straight line. And now let's solve for LM, the arc LM. This symbol is for arc LM. Now the radius is given to be 5. Use your calculator and directly solve it up. Now over here, x will be 100 because it's given 100 divided by 360. Multiply it with 2 pi and radius is 5. Now the answer would be 8.726. See, now they have also told round it off to nearest 100. 100 means it has 2 zeros, right? So after the decimal point, that is 8 point, there must be 2 digits. Let's see. 73 will be the answer because this is 6. If it's more than 5 or more than 5, the previous number changes. So it'll be 73. It's in inches. So that is the arc length. Now similarly, let's solve the others. Now over here, look, the diameter is given to be 3 yards. So the radius is 1.5. That's the only thing. So now over here, similarly, you can solve. Oh, before that, there's one more thing. Where is the arc MN? It's over here. Do we know this particular angle? No. But we know this total angle is that this is the diameter NL. Total is 180 degrees. Subtract the known angle 100, then you will get this to be 80. So the angle over here is 80. So it'll be 80 divided by 360. Multiply it with 2 pi, and the radius is not 3, radius is 1.5, diameter is 3. Don't make the mistake. It'll be 2.09 yards. So yards is a unit of measure as well. So now similarly, you can do the other problems and check the answers. Now KL over here is given, and they have given JD to be 7. Now this is a radius, so even this will be the same thing, 7, and you can simply solve these problems. Solve all of this and just check the answers. Now we will do degree conversion. There are many methods. One of the easier method is what I can tell you right now. Understand, Whenever you have a degree, you need to convert to radian. The final answer must be in terms of pi radians. Now, see over here, the answers will be like this. Now, the conversion unit you might know 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi, or 180 degrees is equal to pi radians, and then you can convert. Now, there's one more easy method. So if you know any degree angle, just divide this by 180. Always, because 1 pi is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, pi radians is 180 degrees. So all you need to do is divide it by 180, you'll get the answer. But this is not the answer, you should multiply this with pi. That's it. Okay, so because the conversion factor is pi by 180. And similarly, you can take anything, for example, say 30. Let's try 30. 30 divided by 180. It'll be 1 by 6 pi radians. Or pi by 6, because 1 into pi is pi. Same way you can try any others. You will get the same answer. 225 by 180, it's 5 by 4 pi radians. Now, the conversion from radian to degrees is still easier because you have this over here, say 3 by 4 pi, right? Instead of writing pi, write 180 because we know pi means 180 degrees. So multiply it by 180, that's it. This will be 135 degrees. Same way over here, 2 pi means 360 degrees. Now all the others, just solve it by yourselves. You can try it. Pi by 3, that means it is 180 divided by 3. It's 60 degrees. Similarly, please do solve all of these by yourself and check the answers. Now we will solve problems using relationships between arcs, chords, and diameters. Here you can see different type of figures. All you need to do is solve for x. Now you can see x is over here unknown, here, here, and various other places in terms of equations or different ways. Before we begin, we will just recall few of the formulas. Now, whenever a chord is cutting, now for example, this is a chord over here. This chord, see this part and this part are equal. These two chords are equal. Then the theorem states over here the arcs will also be equal. So this is very important. Whenever you can see any two chords, these two chords, say for example they are equal because they are mentioned it. If there is a dash same line over here, that means it's equal. Or if it's two lines like this, same two lines, then they are equal. Then the arc which is formed because of that, the minor arcs, they are also equal. Now, simply saying, if this is 116, this over here is also 116. But is this x also 116? In this case, yes, because the angle that forms the minor arc is also equal, right? So over here, there's one more formula. You can see it's from the center, right? The radius and the arc, and this arc are equal, whenever it's formed over here. If it's outside, then this would be half of this. So this is the concept. So now we will solve quickly a few problems. Over here, they are told to find this part. What is this x? Unknown. But what is the total angle of this circle? It's x plus, this is also x, because if this is x, this is also x, right? So again, x plus 64. Now this total is equal to what? Total is equal to 360 degrees. So the only thing is this concept, this two chords tells us this and this are equal. Now you can easily solve it up. 2x plus 64 equals 360, and you can take this to the other side and solve it, or directly in the calculator, anyhow it's possible. So you will get the answer 148. Over here it was 116. Now similarly, sometimes they'll not give you the dash on the lines or the chords. Over here they are mentioned this is 4 and this is 4. That means they're equal. So this is 82, then this must be 82. Similarly, you can solve the remaining. We will solve this equation over here about this 8th or ninth one. Now you can see there are two circles, and they have mentioned over here in this circle V is congruent to circle W. That means they both are equal. And now how we can solve over here is they have not given any equal to sign, but they have given the arcs. See over here, this is the eighth one is much easier because they have told this arc and this arc is same. So then it is easier to solve because you can just equate these both. 6x equals to 2x plus 24. I'll just write over here 2x plus 24. If you just solve this equation, you will get the answer for x. But in this case, you know this much is 162. You need to find the remaining angle. This will be 360 minus 162. Similarly, over here, solve 198 minus 360 minus 198. When you do it, let's just do it. 360 minus 198. I'm sorry. You will get 162. So now I know this and this is equal. Even if you do 360 minus this minus 162, you'll get 198. Now I know these all are equal. This arc is equal, this is equal, this and this. Then I know even this and this chord must be equal, because that is what the theorem says. If these two arcs are equal, then these two chords are also equal. Over here we are told, right, if these two chords are equal, then the corresponding arcs are equal. Same way, if the arcs are equal, the chords also must be equal. It's just that you have to solve 3x equals 9x minus 78. When you solve this, you will get the answer for x. That would be the final answer. So just do it by yourself. These are very easy problems, straightforward problems. Solve it by yourself and then check the answers over here. In this topic, we will derive the subsets of sample spaces using intersection, that is like this, and union. So before we begin, let's look into these two symbols. Whenever it's like a A without the line, this is called intersection. That means what is there in both the sides. Now imagine I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here I have 2, 4, 6. What is there in both of these sides? The common terms, you can see it's 2 and 4. 2 and 4. These are the intersection between these two. They are repeated in both 2 and 4. Whereas union, now if I change this to union, it would mean all the numbers. Over here, then the answer would be 1, because over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even this number 6. It's not just 2, 4, 6 or 1 to 5. No, it's all the numbers included. That's union. It's very simple. Once you understand that, then it's pretty easy. Now, a fair die is rolled once. Let A be the event of rolling an even number. So A is the sample space of all dice that are even rolling an even number. So that is 2, 4, and 6. Because a die, you know a die, right? It'll be 1, then there'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges, 6 faces, sorry. And there'll be 6 numbers on each face. 1 to 6 numbers will be there in each face. And now all the evens are 2, 4, 6. Whereas B is the event of rolling a number greater than 4. What are the numbers greater than 4? It is greater than 4 will be 5 and 6. Now you need to find the intersection between these two. It's only 6, because 6 is the only number that is there in both. So the answer would be 6 over here. That's it. Now one thing, here greater than 4 means it's only 5 and 6. Don't be confused. Don't add 4 over here. If you add 4, then it's wrong. If it is greater than equal to, then 4 would have been added. But if it's greater than, means bigger than 4, sorry, it's 5 and 6. That's it. Same way, you can solve more problems over here. They have asked you even number and odd numbers. Even are 2, 4, 6, and 1, 3, 5 are odd. And now you can see there is no common thing, no intersection. Because over here, 1, 3, 5, over here it's 2, 4, 6. They are different numbers. When there's nothing, you write this symbol, null set. That's an empty set or null set. So that is the answer. Similarly, there are different situations over here. Let's do this one. Let A be the event of a spinner landing from 4 or 10. Sorry, landing only on 4 or 10. Now this is a spinner. There are 12 digits over here. So A is from 4 or 10. That's it. Whereas B is the event where the numbers are divisible by 4. All the numbers that are divisible by 4, that is 4, 8, and 12. So now you want the intersection of these both. The answer is just 4. That's it. So your final answer would be 4. You do not need to solve in detail. Just write these sample spaces and directly you can find the answer. Because the options will be given to you, you need to select the correct option. Same way over here, all the explanations are given. You can check this in the presentation. Now, over here, it's about cards. Let's do this problem. A card is selected from a standard deck of cards. What is the probability that the card is a diamond? The card is diamond and is 7. So now we need to understand about standard deck. There are 52 cards. I've explained this in one of the previous videos. Please go back to the video, the probability video. Now over here there are 52 total cards and each suit has 13 cards. Okay. So now what they want is the card is a diamond and it's 7. So what is the probability, what is the possibility that a card is 7 and a diamond? It is only one, because there is only one particular card which is a 7 of diamond. You won't have two cards in a standard deck, only one card. But how many total cards are there? So total cards are 52. So this is it. This would be the answer. You do not need to solve for more. You can directly solve because that is the question over here. Selected that. What is the probability? Probability is asked. The favorable outcomes divided by the total outcomes. You can directly come to this part if you understand the probability, the diamond, and 7. It's only one possibility. The intersection would be only one. But over here, it is in big detail. I'll just tell you what it means is, now what are all the number of cards that are diamonds? So there are 13 cards which are diamonds. Okay, so these are the cards. Ace of diamond, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, king, jake and queen. Diamond cards are there. And how many sevens are there? There is 7 of clubs, 7 of spades, 7 of hearts, and 7 of diamonds. So there are 4 of 7 cards. Which is the intersection between these both? There is only one particular card. But if you know the cards thoroughly, you do not need to do all this. You know there is only one 7 of diamond. So basically it's 1 divided by 52. So what this means is there is 1.92, nearly 2% chance that if you pick a random card in a standard deck, that it would be 7 of diamond. So it's a very low probability. So you can try, pick a random card. It may not be 7 of diamond, but there's 2% chance that it would be. Similarly, there are more problems over here. It's very straightforward. You can easily go through them and then solve these. And this is also similar to the spinning what we have done before. Now I'll just tell you one thing. Over here they have asked about vowels. The vowels in English alphabets are A, E, I, O, U. So these are the vowels. So now over here A, E, I is not there, O is there, and U is there. So there are four of these. So there are only 4. And then over here they have asked for J. So all you need to do is find the union. So add them all up, and that is the answer. Similarly, you can solve the remaining. They're all straightforward. And over here you can see about integers between 1 to the random generator. See, you need to find the number, total numbers are 1 to 20. And what are the multiples of 5? Multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, and 20. And then the other event is numbers less than 12. So what are the numbers less than 12? So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 until 11. Because it's less than 12, don't include 12. That's it. You need to find the union. So write all of them up. 1 to 11, 15, and 20. That's it. Similarly, do all the problems by yourself. You can pause the video in the between, or you can just use the presentation. Solve it by yourself, because the more problems you solve in probability, the more thorough or confident you become in this topic. And then do check the answers. And if there is any wrong, you can just look into the explanation over here. Now we will solve problems which are involving dependent and independent events. Now this is very simple because you need to just read and understand. That's it. Now, for example, you roll an even number on a fair die. A die will have six numbers. You're rolling it, and an even number falls. That is 2, 4, 6, because there are only 1 to 6 possibilities in a die. And then you spin a spinner numbered from 1 to 5. So over here, you're using a die, a cube, and then other way, you're going to use a spinner. There'll be an arrow, and you spin this. So, and it lands on an odd number. Say it lands on 3. Now, is this having any relationship with each other? So now imagine I put a even number over here, 2. Will this 2 in the die affect the number over here? It doesn't. This is an entirely different scenario, and this is an entirely different scenario. They are not at all related to each other. No. Anything you put over here will never affect this one. So that is the thing. But now imagine there are 5 students in the class. There are 5 students in the class. 5. And now I need to select 2 students. So the probability of selecting one of the student would be 1 by 5. But now I have selected this student and I remove him out of the class. Now when I'm selecting a second student, the number of student reduces. I need for one more position, I'm going to select one more student, then it'll be 1 by 4. Now there is a relationship. If I select one student, that is he is gone and it reduces. So these are dependent on each other. They are dependent on each other. Whereas in this problem, spinner and a fair die, they're never dependent on each other. They are independent. So this is an independent event because they have no bearing on each other. Now, ace is drawn from a standard deck of cards. There are 52 cards in the standard deck, and an ace is drawn. A, or number 1, and it is not replaced. See, there are 52 cards in this deck. The ace is drawn, and it's not kept back. So there were 52, but now 1 is gone, so it's 51. Then another ace is drawn. So they have again drawn an ace. Does the probability in the first event and the second event change? Absolutely, because in the first event, there are 4 aces and the answer would be 4 by 22. This is the probability. In the second time to draw an ace, there are only 3 aces because 1 is gone and there are 51 cards. Probability changes. It's not the same. So these are dependent on each other. So similarly, you can solve these in a bag of 3 green, 4 blue marbles. 3 green are there and 4 blue marbles. A blue marble is drawn and not replaced, then a second blue marble is drawn. See, now you have a bag over here. Oh, imagine a box, open box. There are 7 marbles in total. 3 are green, 4 are blue. You remove one of this away because you picked it once. Now, initially, the probability would have been 4 by 7, but now this is gone. The next probability would be 3 by 6. So the probability changes. There's a change in this. So that's dependent on each other. So these are dependent. And you roll a 2 fair die and roll 5 on each. Now this over here, there's one die, there's one more die. So you roll this. What is the probability to get 5? It will be 1 by 6 because 5 is only one digit and there are total 6 possible outcomes over here. There is one more die. You're going to roll it again. What is the probability of getting 5? Again, it's 1 by 6. There is no change in the probability whatsoever. So it doesn't matter how many times you roll. So it is independent. This is independent. Whereas it dependent are the ones which change the probabilities. So that is the thing. Now let's quickly solve this problem over here. Mr. Hans places the names of 4 of his students, Joe, Sophia, Hayden, and Bonita, on slips of paper From these, he intends to randomly select two students to represent his class at the robotics convention. He draws the name of the first student, sets it aside, then draws the name of the second student. What is the probability he draws Sophia and then Joe? So now look over here. This is dependent because he draws the name of the first student and then sets it aside. And then he will draw another student. So he's not going to put that name back. And now they're asking, what's the probability? He draws Sophia and then Joe. What is the probability in the first instance for drawing Sophia? What is the probability for Sophia? It would be 1, 2, 3, 4 students are there, and Sophia has only one person. Then, what happens in the next case? Joe Joe is drawn. Yes, only Joe is drawn, only Joe. So he's one, and there are three people now. Why? Because when Sophia was there, there were total four. Now she's gone. There are only three: Joe, Hayden, and Bonita. Sophia is gone. So this is the probability. Now, what do you do with this? You multiply them because they are dependent of each other. They have asked, what is the probability? First Sophia is picked and then Joe is picked. So this is the probability that this both will be picked. So if you multiply, you'll get the answer. It's 1 by 12. So that's the thing. See, it's 1 by 12 percent or 8%. That is the answer. So now over here, whenever you write in terms of formula, the probability of A and B is simple. The probability of A, you need to multiply with probability of B provided A is completed. You know, so this is a condition. This entirely is conditional probability, which is another topic altogether. But now this is the formula, or you can just understand, analyze, and solve it by yourself. Same way over here, you have a playing deck of cards. First, you are picking Jack of Spades. There is only one Jack of Spades in the entire set out of 52. But then it is not replaced. See, not replaced is mentioned, right? That means you're not putting the card back. So what is the next? You need second card which is black. There are 26 black cards, but Jack of Spades is also a black card which is not replaced. So it won't be 26, it'll be one less than that. It'll be 25 by 51 because one card was removed. Now multiply this, you will get the answer. This is the answer. That's 1% chance that first card is a black of spades and then second card will be another again a black. So there's 1% chance it'll be the same order. Similarly, you can solve this as well. Over here, they have asked, the table shows the color and the number of jerseys available for a intramural volleyball tournament. If each jersey is given away randomly, what is the probability that the first and the second jersey given away are both red? So now what it says is, over here you can see uh, there's a tournament and they're giving away jerseys randomly. There are so many a number of jerseys. So first, the jersey which will be given is red. So now you're handing out the jersey, so you're not going to get it back. Okay, so there's a probability that out of 25, sorry, out of the total 25 are red jerseys, so divided by the total number. So total number would be 20, 40, 50, 60, 7. It'll be, it's 70, yes. So 70 total jerseys are there. So now this is the probability the first jersey would be red. It's simple. But now the next probability also is again for red, but already a red is gone. So you don't have 25, it's only 24, and you don't have 70, it's only 69. So this would be the answer. So multiply these both, you'll get the answer. So it'll be first instance, it'll be 25 by 70. Next would be 24 by 69. Multiply it, and that's it. Do try to solve the problems by yourself. Check it out. If you get any doubts, some problems which you cannot solve in probability, you can put it in the comment. I will try to answer as soon as possible. In this topic, we need to find the probabilities for various situations. Before we start, over here there are many problems regarding cards, standard deck of cards. You might know there are 52 cards in a standard deck, excluding the jokers. Jokers are not considered in the standard deck. And there are 26 red cards, that is, two suits are included, and black cards are 26 as well. So 26 plus 26 makes 52. And there are two suits in red, that is heartens and diamonds. So it is 13 and then again 13. Even with the black, it is 13 and 13. There are spades and clovers. So this is the thing. And about face cards, if you have seen a deck of cards, you might know there is Jack, Queen, and King. Only these three have a face of a person of a person in it. So Jack, Queen, and King are the only face cards. The Ace is not a face card. It doesn't have any face of a person. It's a non-face card. It's number cards. So there are 10 number cards and 3 face cards. In the total deck, because there are 4 suits, it'll be 12 face cards and 40 non-face cards. So this is some basics of cards. Now they're asking you probability. Uh, you're picking a card from a standard deck. What is the probability that the card is 4? So you must understand how many cards are there. 52. That is the total possibilities. So always probability is the favorable outcome divided by the total possibilities. Now we have 52 total possibilities. But how many 4-number cards are there? There is a 4 in spades, 4 in heartens, 4 in clover, and 4 in diamond. That means there are 4 possible favorable outcomes. So it is 4 divided by 52. That is the answer. Same way, how many red cards are there? There are 26. 26 divided by 52. Face cards, I just now told you there are 12 total face cards. 12 by 52 and 40 by 52 would be the answers over here. Now, similarly, now we will come to OR. This OR is a very important thing. Now, OR means, remember, it's plus. Okay? In electronics, you might remember OR gate is a plus gate. You need to add in electronics. If you have done this in CDI or something, you might have remember OR gate is always regarding to plus, and AND gate is regarding to multiplication. But here, only the OR is required. Now, they have told probability of picking a queen or a heart. Now, let me tell you what OR exactly is. Now, imagine I ask you for a pen or a pencil. Pen or a pencil. It would mean, because I need to write, I don't mind what it is. I need only one of this. If I get a pen, it's fine. Or if I get a pencil, it's fine. Any one of it is required. But what if I ask you a pencil and an eraser? Eraser to erase something I wrote. I need both because I'm not going to start writing without a eraser. So I need both of this. And is both. Or is only one. So this is the difference. Now, similarly over here, probability of queen or a heart. So find the probability of queen plus the heart. Let's do that first and then I'll tell you how to solve it properly. So the probability of queen, there are 4 queens. So 4 divided by 52 plus hearts. Heart is a suit in the cards. There are 13 hearts. So 13 by 52. But there is one problem. This will give you an error because, see, queen, there are 4 queens. In this heart and queen is also included. And even there are 13 suits in heart. And there is queen of heart even in this. So this card is being repeated. That means this is the intersection in these both events. Okay, these are not mutually exclusive. So whatever is happening over here is related to this as well. So this queen of heart is there in both of this. So you need to subtract it once. So how many queen of hearts are there in deck? 1 and divided by 52. So always remember when it is not mutually exclusive, when these are connected to each other, you need to find the probability of the first event plus, or means plus, second event minus what is common in these both. So this would be the answer. It would be 17 minus 1, 16 divided by 52 would be the answer, or 4 by 13. Same way you can try with jack or spades. Try it by yourself and check the answers. Explanation is already there over here. And now, say for example, the 15th one. Here, a drawing that is, a draw of a, say, lucky draw or something like that. A drawing will take place where one ticket is to be drawn from a set of 80 tickets. So there are totally 80 tickets at random. If a ticket is selected at random, what is the probability that a number drawn is a multiple of 4? The first scenario, it's a multiple of 4. It can be 4, 6, 8, 12, or so on. Now, another one is, what is a factor of 4? The factors of 4 are anything that is divisible by 12, without, if you divide a number and it doesn't, it gives you a whole number. It should not give a decimal or a fraction. If it gives a whole number, it is a factor. See, you can divide 12 by 1 and you'll get 12. You can divide by 2, you'll get 6. 3, then 4 is possible. 5 is not possible. 6 is possible. And then lastly 12, I believe. That's, yeah, because it's a small number, it's easy to find out. Now, these are all the possibilities. Over here also there are possibilities. Now, how many multiples are there till 80? It is 420 times 80. So there are 20 multiples divided by 80 plus. How many factors of 12 are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 80 minus, subtract whatever is common in these both. Let's see what's common. 4 is common, 12 is common. So 2 digits are common. Now, among the 80 tickets, if at all you want to find either, when you select one at random, whether it is a multiple of 4 or a factor of 12, is given by multiple of 4 over here plus factor of 12 minus the intersection of those two, and that would be the answer. So whatever you solve over there would be the answer. So it's 20 plus 6 by 80 minus 2 by 80. So this would be the final answer. So that's the thing. This is how you can solve, and that'd be 30%. So there is 30% chance that either these of the tickets will be drawn. Now we will quickly go through this one. There are plenty of problems in this topic. They're all easy and simple. Now here Venn diagram is given. Venn diagram problems are easy because you can see the diagram as all the data, and they're telling that the Venn diagram shows the senior class of Valley View High, whoever enjoyed the extracurricular activities. So all those who participated in extracurricular activities are mentioned. That's drama, band, and athletics. And those who do not participate are also there over here. How many students are there in the senior class? Just add them, add this, all these, this, all the numbers must be added, and you will get the total number of students. That's it. So you just add them all up. How many students participated in athletics? It's the same thing, but only see the athletics circle over here. This one, add all this, and you will get the answer. And next one is for drama over here. Now, we know about athletics. Now they are telling what is the probability that a student selected is either for drama or athletics. So we know how many athletics were there. There were 159 students. Divided by the total number is 345. Plus, how many are there in drama? You need to add this number, 38 plus 4 plus 10 plus 30. So you will get a total of 82 divided by 345. Now don't forget to subtract the common. Drama and athletics have all these in common. 4 plus 10, it's 14 are in common. So 345. So this would be the answer. You can see this is the probability. Similarly, the last problem. Over here, we can see over here, they have told and. So don't use that formula or. That plus formula is only for or. Here they have told and drama and band. So what that means? Let's see which is the intersection with drama and band. It's 30. So there are 30 divided by 345 students, about 9%. So that is the answer. So that is how we can solve. And over here, Okay, now we will quickly come to some mutually exclusive problems. See now, if you know bowling, bowling is where you throw a ball at pins. So there is something called strike. So there will be many pins, there will be about 10 pins, and you have to throw a ball from here, big bowling ball, and you should hit all the pins. So if you hit all the 10 pins at once, that is a strike. So if you miss that, then strike cannot happen. Then you can do a spare. That is clear all the 10 pins within 2 tries, I believe. So that is a spare. But it's very important you understand a strike and a spare can never be together. If a strike happens, spare cannot happen, whereas a spare happens, strike cannot happen. So they are mutually exclusive, they are not related. Now over here they are asking what is the probability that there is strike or a spare. So remember, in such cases, you cannot subtract anything because they are not mutually connected to each other. They are separate. So it's just add these both because over here there is -0. They have no intersection together. So that is the answer. Similarly, you can see this problem. See, Dario owns cards, of basketball, baseball, basketball, and football. Now, they have asked the probability of baseball and football. See, baseball is 145, football is 102. You don't subtract anything because there is no same card. There is no card which is baseball and football together. So they are separate. So that is how we do it. Similarly, please go through these problems. They are all, see, now if they are related to each other, remember length, grade point average. If they are both together, then you need to subtract. If not, it will just be two of these. So just now, it'll be a mutually exclusive how we solve, no subtraction. But if at all this is related, female and orange C, then you need to subtract, otherwise no. Please go through all these problems. They are very straightforward, very easy. I'm sure. See, now this is mutually exclusive, so no subtraction. Whereas if it is not mutually exclusive, you will have to subtract it out. Please go through these, solve it by yourself. And if you have any doubt, you can write in the comments. I will get back to you because this is a little tricky topic. But if you solve more problems, it'll be very easy for you. Moving on to the 16th topic, it is on conditional probabilities. Conditional probabilities, as the name states, is finding the probability provided there's a certain condition. There are some conditions applied to it. Now let's look at this problem. There is a set formula to solve it, but let's still understand this problem properly. The Spanish club is having a potluck lunch where each student brings in a cultural dish. The 10 students randomly draw cards numbered with consecutive integers from 1 to 10. Students who draw odd numbers will bring main dishes, whereas the students who draw even numbers will bring desserts. If Cynthia is bringing a dessert, what is the probability that she drew the number 10? So there are 10 students in this club where all are there are 10 chits with different numbers from 1 to 10. No one knows which number. So 1 to 10 are there in that. And what they are doing is you have to pick in random. If you get 1 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 9 or 9, these are all odd numbers, 1, 5, 7, 9, you will have to bring main dish, like a main course. Whereas if you get the even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, then you will have to bring a dessert like a sweet or something like that. So now Cynthia is bringing a dessert. So this has been told. So they have given us a condition. That means she is bringing a dessert. So we will consider that condition as to be A. But what is the probability we have to find? What is the probability that she drew the number 10? So this is B basically. So now when we write the probability of conditional probability, it will be we need to find this condition provided A. This is like a conditional probability. The formula is very simple. We need to find the probability of A and B let me just show you, A and B divided by probability of A. This is it. So probability of B condition A is probability of A and B divided by probability of A. So now what is the probability of A? That is, the number is even because she got the dessert, right? She has to bring the sweet. That means she has picked an even number. What is the probability she picked the even number? There are 5 even numbers and 10 total numbers of 10. So it's 50% or 1 by 2, 0.5. So this is the probability of A, P of A. So this is done. We got half. Now, how do we find probability of A and B? Now, A and B means what is the probability that this is even? What are the even numbers? 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. This is the first condition A. And what is the number we want over here? And number 10 itself. What is the intersection of? One second, I'll just erase this. Now, this is all the even numbers. And what is the second condition? The number 10 must be picked. What is the common over here? It is only one number, that is 10. So there's only one possibility, that is only 10 can be possible out of all the outcomes, out of the 10 outcomes. So this is the probability of A and B. So this is it. So because it's very simple to understand, she needs the number 10. That is a specific number. Only one number 10 is there out of 10 numbers. So you have to just divide 1 by 10 divided by 1 by 2. When you solve it, you will get the answer. So there is a 20% chance that when she picked, she got the 10 number itself. So that is the thing. Now, similarly, you can solve the others. You can easily solve these others. See, the same formula over here, just the situations are different. Just look carefully what has been asked. See, over here, a card is randomly drawn from a standard deck of 52 cards. What is the probability that card is king of diamonds, given that the card is drawn as a king? So they have already told us, see, the card drawn is a king. But what is the probability that card is king of diamonds? This is the main thing. So now let's see the condition which is already told to us. What is the condition they have given us? The card drawn is a king. They have told, given that. This means they have told us. So card drawn is a king. How many kings are there? 4 divided by 52. So what is the probability of getting king? It's 1 by 13. So remember, always the given condition will be divided by, see, this is 1 by 13. It's in the bottom. Now, up above, we need to know what is the probability of both can happen. How many kings of diamonds are there? It's only one. So it is only one possibility out of 52. It's direct. You don't even need to do all this because you can directly understand that it is a king of diamond. That means it's 1 by 52 divided by this. That is 25% chance. So similarly, please go through all these problems. The same formula is used. Explanation is given over here. Make sure you solve it by yourself and then check for the answers. Um, Even this over here, the same formula, same thing. Very straightforward. Please try solving all this by yourselves so you will understand much better. Now let's, I think so there's one problem which is different. This is same. Again, this is same. This one, okay. Now we will just quickly try this one. A school picnic offers, because there are 3 parts. This is one part, and then there's 2 more parts. Let's see this. 10th problem. A school picnic offers students hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, and a drink. At the picnic, 60% of the students order a hamburger, and 48 students order a hamburger and chips. What is the conditional probability that students who order a hamburger also orders chips? So now here they have given us the condition who orders hamburger also orders chips. That means probability of A is student who orders hamburgers. That's it. See, which is the condition that is satisfied, which is given to us? That is who orders hamburgers. So this is already told. Now, what do we have to find? Conditional probability that whoever ordered a hamburger already also will order a chip. That means the formula is probability of hamburger and, sorry, and chips. Okay, probability of both of this divided by the probability of hamburger only, and both of these are given, so it's very easy. The how many students order a hamburger? It's 60%. So you can just write over here divided by 60%. And how much students ordered hamburger and chips? That is also mentioned. It's 48%. That is all 0.48, 0.60. So all you need to do is solve this up and you will get the answer. So over here you can see they have used fractions. Now probability of A by B is given to you. A by B is 48%. But 48% in fraction is 12 by 25. So that's why they have used this. You can use this as well. It's the same thing. You can try this. And over here you can see they have written 3 by 5. Why? 60% is fraction for is the 3 by 5 in terms of fraction. And then you solve it, you'll get the answer. Now the next part is again similar. If 50% of the students ordered chips, are the events of ordering a hamburger and ordering chips independent? Now what they are saying is, if at all students 50 half of the students have ordered chips, do you think the hamburger and chips, whoever orders hamburger and chips, are same? No, see over here the probabilities are different. You can't mix them up. The 50% students are ordering chips, that's a separate scenario. And this over here, they're not independent. This is what I'm trying to say is 50% students ordered chips, okay, but other events of ordering hamburger and ordering chips independent. No, this cannot be, because they are related to each other, isn't it? Hamburger and chips requires what is the data for this as well. So basically what it says is no, because these two probabilities are dependent on each other. They're not separate, they're not exclusive. So they are in relationship in this sense. Whatever one does will affect the other. If this number changes when you're solving for the probability chips and hamburger conditional probability, the number changes. So that is the thing. Any of this value, now imagine, let's just go back over here. If this 48% of the students ordered hamburger and chips over here, this was changed, the answer would have changed. So that's the concept over here. And last one over here, if 80% of the students who ordered a hot dog also ordered a drink, and 35% of all the students ordered a hot dog, find the probability that the student at the picnic orders a hot dog and drink. Now over here they have given us the condition already. See, 80% of the students who ordered a hot dog also ordered a drink. That means this is the condition. See, probability of B of, see, let me just show it over here. See, the probability of drink and hot dog is already given. See, the probability of whoever ordered a hot dog also ordered drink is already given to you. Conditional probability is given, and 35 of all students who ordered hot dog is also given. Probability of this. Now you need to find, and that is probability of drink and hot dog. We know from, see, look at this formula over here. Probability of drink, provided the hot dog is already satisfied, this condition is satisfied, is equal to probability of drink and and hot dog, okay, divided by probability of only the below part. What is that? Hot dog. So the thing is, they have given us this and this. Sorry, no, this is what we need to solve. This is unknown. Probability of drink and hot dog is unknown, whereas this and this is given. So just take this to the other side and multiply these two. Let me write these values. So they have given this to be 0.8. This is the probability, that is 80%. And over here the probability of hot dog goes to the other side, multiplied 0.35. This would be the answer. If you multiply these, you will get 0.28. That is the probability of drink and a hot dog. So this is how we solve it. I know it is confusing in first time itself, but just make sure you understand which conditions are satisfied, understand what is being asked and what conditions are satisfied. and there will be given, they will give you other information, because you cannot apply this formula. Say for this formula you need given stuff, so with the given conditions you can analyze and easily find it out. Generally they may ask you such problems where you need to apply for condition probability. Just remember this formula and then you can easily solve them up. So please do solve all these problems and then check out your answers. So this is a bit of a lengthy topic, but it's very straightforward. You can see the explanation in this presentation and then check your answers. The 17th topic is similar to the 6th topic, which was solving system of equations. Now we will employ the easiest way possible, that is the calculator method. Now for calculator method, obviously you need to use your calculator and you need to go to mode phi, and there are many equations. See, before I go over here, let me press this mode. Option number 5 is equations. Now there are many equations, either a cubic or a quadratic or a three variable equation. See, option number 2 is three variable x, y, and z. Third is quadratic, that's power 2, and fourth is cubic, power 3. But the first option is two variable simultaneous equation like what we have over here. The standard form is given, that is ax plus by equals c. Now always remember, x and y are the variables, a, b, and c are the values. See, whatever is before x is a over here, and over here there is nothing, that means it's minus 1. If there's nothing, over here it's 1x. And last constant is the 9 over here, always right side of the equal to. To solve it, it's very simple. Press phi and type the coefficients. 2, minus 1, and 9. So it will be 1, 3, and minus 6. Now you will get x equals 3, y equals minus 3. This is the answer. But there are some cases where you won't get an answer. So let me solve this, for example. Next one. It's 2 minus 1 and 7, 6 minus 3 and 14. Over here, I'm going to get a no solution because this is a computer simulation calculator. But if you use a real scientific calculator, most of the time, you will get a math error. So math error for this case, and even if I solve the last problem, let's see over here, 2, 1, and 8, 3, 3 by 2, that is 1.5. 3 by 2 is equal to 1.5 and 12. Now over here, I'll get infinite solutions. So there's a problem over here. As you can see, both of this, infinite solution and no solution, you'll get a math error. Whenever you get such things in calculator, when it doesn't give you a proper solution, you need to simplify the equation. Let's simplify this. Look over here, you should bring these both to a similar, or they should be both matching. Now over here you have 2x, right? Try to divide this and make it 2x. So obviously you need to divide by 3. So use the 3 everywhere. You can't divide only one side. You need to balance it out. Divide 3 everywhere. And the answer you get is 2x minus y, because this and this cancels, equals 14 by 3. Now if you look closely, 2x is same, minus y is same, equals to the numbers are different. If you graph this, you will understand the slope is same. Both the variables are same, only the constant is different. That means it's a parallel line. You must have studied this before. Whenever this y-intercept, the constant numbers are different, that means they are in different places, but the slope and everything is same. So what happens is these will never intersect each other. That means these will never touch each other, and they are always gonna go, they will just extend but never touch. So there will be no solution. How did we understand? When we simplified, only the numbers will be different, all the other terms will match. Same way over here. You need to get these two equal. Either you can divide this by 2 and match it, or I can multiply this entire thing by 2 and you can match the above equation. Multiply over here, it will be 4x minus this 2 and 2 cancel, so you will have only y equals to 2 multiply. It should be multiplied everywhere. Multiplied with 4, it will be 8. Now look over here. 4x matches, minus y matches, but these numbers are different. So that means again it's no solution because they are parallel lines. They'll never touch each other. And over here, other problems have the solutions. You will get the answers, but the last one is infinite solution. What does this mean? So what this means exactly is they are the same line. There is only one equation, but it looks like this. But if you actually simplify, you're gonna get the same equation in both the places. Now, this is a little bit tricky, but what you must do is you must try to match these two terms. Now, it's very hard because over here you can't divide anything. You know, you can divide, but still it's a little bit difficult to match these. So what you can do is, in such cases, when they are simplified 2 and 3, I can't divide anything to get easily. There are numbers I can divide 1.5 over here and get 2, but still you can do this if you start dividing 1.5 everywhere. And then what happens is you will get 2x, y, and the same answer over here. You can try this. But what if you don't know 1.5 is the number? There's another method. Whatever is the coefficient over here, you multiply it upwards. Multiply this by 3. And what is the coefficient over here? It's 2, isn't it? Multiply it down. Then it should be, both must be same. If both are same, then it's infinite solution. Let's do this. Multiply this by 3. 2 times 3 is 6x plus 3x equals 3 times 8 is 24. Now, same thing over here. 2 times 3 is 6x. 3 by 2 is 1.5 times 2 is 3, or this cancels over here. So it'll be plus 3. Sorry, it's not x, it's y. My bad. It's y and y equals 2 times 12 is 24. See, now both of these equations match. That means this is the same equation. So if you're going to graph this, you can use Desmos and try graphing it. It'll be the same equation. See, if there are two lines, they are the same lines. So they will always be touching each other, and every point is a solution. So there are infinite solutions. This is how you can easily solve it in calculator. Just make sure if you get a no solution, if you're getting a math error, it can be no solution or infinitely many solution. No solution means the equation, the part of x and y will match, but this constant does not match. Whereas for infinitely many solution, for two variables, both the equations must match up. For two variables, both will match up. So this is how we can easily solve these equations in calculator. Similar to the previous video, in the video number 18, we have to solve linear equation, but in this case, it's three variables. Now you can see x, y, and z. Or you can have p, q, r. It depends. A, b, c is the same thing. But please make sure it should be proper three variables. It may not be three variables every way, but at least in one, if it's three variable, then you must know it's a three variable equation. Now over here, there is no r. That means r is 0. Now again, we will see the direct method. It's through calculator. All you need to do is mod phi. Now you might have guessed it already. It's number 2. So option number 2 gives you three variable system of equations. Now you need to just type in all the coefficients. That is 2, 3, and minus 1. X, y, and z must be all together, and the constants must be in the right side of equal to. So it'll be 0 over here. Then again 1, minus 2, and minus 4, and 14. Lastly 3, 1, minus 8, and 17. Now over here, x value is 4, y is minus 3, and z is minus 1. So this is it. It's very simple and straightforward. But there are some cases where you will get over here infinitely many solutions and no solution. And in some cases, for infinitely many solutions, they may not be the same. Now, why? Because see, now we are dealing with a plane. See, there are three dimensions. If it was two variables, it would be a line, isn't it? X and y, it's a line. Now we are dealing with three dimension, that is a plane, 3D. So now these intersect in a line, so there'll be infinitely many solutions. But let's see how to deduce these directly. Since over here MCQs are there, you will know which options. Now, if you solve this, for example, I'll solve this in the calculator, mod phi 2, you will get 1 minus 2 and 1 and 8, 2, 1 minus 1, 0, and lastly 3 minus 6, 3, and 24. You'll get infinitely many solutions because in this calculator, but if you do it in a physical calculator, you'll get a math error. Even for this and for this, no solution also won't be appearing. It'll be a math error. So what do you do then? Simplify these equations. Simplify. You should at least try to match. See, now when I look at these, I can assume, see, this and this looks similar. Let me solve them up. If I solve them, try to make the first variable equal to this. All I need to do is divide it by 3 over here. Let me divide this by 3, this by 3, this by 3, and this by 3. I did not use this equation. Why? Because it was a 0, and it's simplified. So leave this off. And if I divide all these by 3, the answer would remain to be A minus 2B plus C equals 8. And this equation is just same as this equation. Can you see? So these both are same. That means they are the same thing. They are the same equation, just it's a multiple of 3. So you can directly go with infinitely many. Whereas over here there is no solution. So do the same thing. Try to get two of these reduced to the same form. Now I wouldn't choose this one particularly because it's all plus 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 and it is much different to these two. Rather I would choose this or this because these both are much similar and I can reduce this one easily to the above equation. I can make this 2, right? Or I can just multiply the above one. It's up to you. I can multiply this throughout by 2 or I can divide it. It's up to you. I'll just multiply all the terms by 2. If I multiply it by 2, I'm going to get, I'll write it up over here, 4x minus 8y minus 2z equals 20. Now let's compare these both. So this is also same, 4x minus 8y minus 2z, but the constant is different. Now if you rewind, go back to the previous video number 17, the topic number 17. I had told you, if the variables are same and only the constant is different, that means it's in a different level and they will never touch each other. In this case, these both planes are same, the slope, everything is same, just that they are all together at a different level. Now imagine if it's a 3D diagram like this. Now this plane is somewhere over here, okay? That is very bad, but anyways, let me try to do, this is the plane. You can just see one line. The next plane will be somewhere over here. So it's up above. They will never touch and therefore there will be no solutions. Why? Because only the constants were different, all the variables were same. Now over here in this case, you need to do many steps. You need to solve for many steps. But there's one more method you can easily come to know whether it is no solution or infinitely solution without solving it entirely. Now I will try to match these both over here. Let me just it's not possible to match any. See, if I multiply this by 2, I'm going to get 2p minus 12q plus 8r equals 4. And this over here, let it be as it is. And even if I multiply 2 over here, it's not going to help me. It'll be 2p minus 4q equals 10. Now what you can understand is the three variables are not same anywhere and this constant is not different. So if you simplify this, eventually you will come to know, if you delete some terms, it will be infinitely many solution because you just cannot simplify this further. Now, I mean, you can simplify this further, but here all these terms vary. So you can conclude that since it is not no solution, it will be infinitely many solution. So why? Because if it's a no solution problem, say there is one more over here. Try simplifying the variables now over here. You must get the same variables on one side, and only this will be different. So how can you easily solve it in your exam? The best way would be solve it in the calculator first. Sorry, over here. If you get answers like this, say for example, I'll do this. Mod phi 2, I will solve it. It's 1, 1, 1, and 3. Over here, 13. There is no y, so it's 0 and 2 and 2. There's minus 1, 0 again, minus 5 and minus 5. Now I'm getting answer 0, 2, and z value is 1. So I'm getting answer, it's over. But if I had solved this, I'll get a math error. We have tried it before. Now, in such cases, try to check for no solution first. Try to simplify or see the equations, other variables same, like over here. This all the two, at least two equations over here have the same variable, only this constant is changed. It's a no solution. Same way over here, where there was a no solution, all the variables were same when I had multiplied by 2. The three variables were same, only the constants were different. It's a no solution. Otherwise, if you get otherwise it's infinitely many solution. Or if you get two same equations, it's infinitely many solution. So this is the trick which you can save time and easily solve it, because otherwise, I'm sure in the classes throughout the term, you have studied this solving system of equation in three variable. It's a lengthy method. You need to equate these two equations, simplify values, and then do it again. It takes a lot of time. But what I just now told you will help you to save time, and you can just do it in maybe a couple of minutes. 19th topic is about graphing quadratic functions. This is the simple way of graphing, making a table, taking x values, y values, and then graphing it up with different points. You will have coordinates at different points of x. You can find the y value and graph it. So this is the regular way. Now there are some other ways also. Now since the 19th topic is in part 2, you will have MCQs, you will have 4 options. So you can use other ways to save time and solve it in a quicker manner. So I will tell you a few shortcuts over here using calculator. Now, say for example, you have all the 4 options. Imagine this is the graph. All the graphs will be there. And if it's domain and range, I'll tell you in a while. Now, first, let's just focus on the graphs. Let's look into the equation over here. What does this equation say? It doesn't say much, it's just numbers, but you can see whether it's plus or minus. That is a very important thing, because if it is plus, the graph will open upwards like this. Whereas when it is minus, it will go downwards like this. This is a huge thing, because not all your 4 options will be same way. Just by this plus or minus sign, you can eliminate one option at least, or maybe 2 options. Anyways, but we can't get the accurate one. So there's one more method, that is take out your calculator and solve this equation altogether. Mod, phi, and quadratic equations are option 3. Now all you need to do is solve it up. Over here the coefficient before x squared is a, that is 1, 6, and 8. So what happens is you get the points, the solutions of this particular graph, where the graph touches the x-axis. It is at -2 and -4. Let's see. Yes, at -2, -4. And now this will be a deciding factor, because not many graphs will have the same solution, because only this graph is the only graph which can have the solution. Now, so that will be one of the major deciding factor, and with the knowledge of plus or minus, you can easily find the graph out of the options. Or if you want to go a little bit more deeper, you can do the vertex. You can find the vertex. We have already done in the previous video. The vertex formula is given by minus b by 2a. That is, over here, b value is 6 divided by 2 times a is 1. So multiplied by 1, the answer would be -3. So the vertex will be the axis of symmetry over here. Will be at minus 3. So now if you know this minus 3, then just put the minus 3 in this equation instead of x, and you will get the y value. This is important if you want to know the range. In the graph, range is possible. Otherwise, if you don't have the graph, you can use this vertex formula. I mean, the axis of symmetry formula. You'll find the x value of the vertex, and then you can easily find the y. Now we will solve it for y. Just put minus 3 instead of x. Use the bracket because it's minus over here. And it's minus 3 over here plus 8. And the answer is minus 1. So you can see here x was minus 3, y is minus 1. And then the solutions were minus 2, minus 4, and it opens upwards. This is more than enough information to easily find the graph. You do not need to do the table and all the plotting of points and everything. You can do that, obviously, that is one of the easiest way. But you can also do the shortcuts to easily find the answer. Now, same way, everything over here, all the graphs, you can do it like that. And I'll just quickly come to this graph, mode 5, 3. If I solve this, 2, minus 4, and 3, I will get I, that is imaginary number, because there is no solution. You can see over here, the graph does not touch the x-axis. It's over the x-axis. That means there is no real solutions. That is why it is like this. Now you can use the same domain formula, the vertex, x-axis of the vertex, and then you can easily find the points. Now, what about the domain and range? The domain for a quadratic function is always all real numbers. What it means is, what are the possible x values it can hold? It can hold any x value because it's square, so it's fine. You can even put any values. But say if it was like this, 1 by x, there'll be some restricted values. The denominator cannot be equal to 0, isn't it? Why? Because 1 divided by 0 is undefined. It can be up to infinity, So this is undefined. So that's why we always restrict the domain. X cannot be equal to 0. Cannot be equal to 0. Similarly, over here, there is no, it's not a rational function or anything. You can apply any x value. So it's fine. It goes on forever. This extends until infinity. It keeps on going. So it just goes on towards the y-axis until infinity and x-axis also, both the sides until infinity. So that's why we tell all real numbers. It is same for all the 6 options, all the 6 problems. You can easily write that. But what about the range? Domain is for the x values. This is the domain x values. Range is the y values, the y-axis. Let's see over here. It's the y over here. This is the range. Okay. Now, what about the range? Depending on where it opens up and where it begins, you need to write the range. Once you know the graph, it's very easy from the graph. I'll just clear it all. Now over here you can see the y value is 3 and it goes down of 3. So that means all the values of y less than or equal to 3 is possibility of range. But it can't be above because there is no part of the graph above 3. So that's the thing. So the range would be less than or equal to 3. Same way for the other problems. Over here the range is more than 1. So it is more than or equal to 1. Over here it was more than or equal to minus 1. Similarly, the next problems you can check over here. See, all the domains are real numbers, whereas the ranges vary. The range over here is greater than or equal to 0. Over here it's less than or equal to 0. And over here it's greater than or equal to 1. Try these problems by yourselves and then you can easily solve. Now, if you're thinking how to solve this in calculator, it's again same. Over here the solution, see, whenever you equate this to 0, the answer will be 0. So it's very obvious because when you solve for the solution, you need to equate this to 0, isn't it? And answer will be 0. But still, you can use mode 5 and 3 and put the value minus 2, 0, and 0. And your answer will be 0. So that's how we can solve all of this. And the negative sign means it will open downwards. So all the values less than or equal to 0 are mentioned over here in the range. The 20th topic is to solve quadratic equations. As you can see over here, the highest power in each equation is power 2. That means it is a quadratic function. Now, there are many ways to solve quadratic functions, either by factoring or using the formula and other methods. But over here, I will tell you one of the easiest method, that is the calculator method. This 20th type of topic is still in part 2. This is the last topic of part 2 that will be in the computer in MCQs. So we can use the shortcut methods over here. We can go to mode, phi, and option number 3. This is for quadratics. All you need to do is, let's see over here, mode phi, and before pressing 3, there is the standard form. A is x, values before x square. This is A. B is the value before x. And C is the constant. Remember, it must be inside the equal to sign. Say over here, this option over here. A is 1, B is 14, C is 33, and equal to 0 must be at the right side. If you do not have that, see in this case, you need to take it to the other side. Over here, you need to take it to the other side and have 0 in one of the side, all the terms to the other side. That's it. Now let's start solving it. Say for example over here, it is 6 and it's minus 2. There is no constant, so it's 0. The answer is 1 by 3 and 0. You can write the solutions anyway. 0 can be first and 1 by 3, or 1 by 3 and 0. Similarly, we can solve others. Now over here, this one, it's 1 and it'll be minus 7 and then 0. So the answer is 7 and 0. Same way you can solve all of this. This is one of the easiest topic. Just remember it is mode, phi, and 3, and then put in the coefficients and you will directly get the answers. Now we move on to the part 3 of the exam. The 21 to 23 questions will be in writing. You will have to write in detail the formulas and the methods and then solve the final answer. So each of the step and the method carries marks. Now the 21st topic is to solve problems based on tangents or secants. Over here, when you look at this figure, you can easily understand this is regarding to tangents. Now over here, this is a tangent, it touches the part of the circle such that it will form a 90 degree and it only touches one point, never more. So it's easy to understand this. And now if you know these both are tangents, then there's a theorem that states the other two angles, between two angles, will be supplementary. That means when I add this both, I should get 180 degree. So now the D, measure of angle D, that is BDC, is 12x. That plus measure of angle A is given, 4x plus 4, must be equal to 180 degrees. Now I can put this directly in the calculator and solve it. Don't do it directly in the calculator. You need to do some steps. Over here, 12x plus 4x would be 16x. Then take the 4 to the other side. 180 minus 4, that would be 176. And now you can divide x 176 by 16. And it will be about 10, 11. X will be equal to 11. So this is how you can solve, but you can double check your answer from any of the steps, from even the first step. If you want, you can double check it. Just type it in the calculator. 12x plus 4x plus 4 equals 180, and just press shift and solve. You're going to get the answer. It's 11. You can double check the answer. But I'm sorry, it's not over here. I have found only x and they want the measure of angle A. Now please put this x value back over here. Instead of 4, put the value 11 and solve. You will get 44 plus 4, that is 48 degrees. So the angle of the measure of the angle A is 48 degrees. This is how we solve it. You can see all the steps over here. This is how we can easily solve it up. Similarly, you can solve the remaining over here. QPPS is given. P is the one in the middle. That means that's the angle. QPS. P is in the middle. Therefore, that is the angle over here. So that is 15x plus 7. And R is 10x minus 3. add them both, and they must be supplementary or equal to 180, and then you can solve it up. And find the measure of r, whatever the x value, put it back in the r. Over here, it'll be 10 times 7 minus 3, and you can easily get the answer. Now, over here, we have another type of problems. Each polygon is circumscribed about a circle. What circumscribed means is very simple. You're tightly fitting a circle inside a polygon such that all the sides touching the circle are tangents. So remember, all these are tangents to the circle. Now we need to find each perimeter of each polygon. Now over here, you must remember this is a tangent, this is a tangent, this is a tangent. All are these tangents, okay? Now there is a rule that states whenever two tangents are cutting like this, these two lines, the side of the lines will be equal. I'll just change the color over here. Now, these both are equal. If this is 13, then this is also 13. If this is 10, this is also 10 over here. This is 13. And if this is 17, this is also 17. That is how you can easily know. Or what you can do is, the simpler way, I know both the lines will be 13. So 2 times 13 plus 2 times 10 plus 2 times 17. This will be the answer for the perimeter. You can just put it in the calculator then and solve it up. Over here they have done the same. 2 times 17, 2 times 10, and 2 times 13. The answer would be 80. Same way you can solve the others. Remember, this is equal. Now over here it's 1. That means over here there is 1 as well. 6 and 6, 2, 2 and 2 over here. Similarly, you can solve all of these, and just the same method you will get the answers. Same thing over here, but now over here you can see they have given unknown values, say x, or over here you can say 2x. You need to find the value of x and then the perimeter. So what can you do? How do you find x? Now I know the entire length is 26. This much is 18. So what is this much over here? It's 18. So all you need to do is 26 minus 18. That will be equal to x because x is so much, right? That is 26 minus 18 equals x. So that is 8. That is the value of x. And once you know that 8, you can easily solve for the perimeter because we just now solved the perimeter. First solve for x, that is 8. And over here 2 times 8 plus 2 times 14 plus 2 times 18 will be the answer. Similarly, you can solve all of this. Now you can over here, see this is the easier method would be, find the x over here. X is very simple. You know x will be equal to 2x. 8 will be equal to 2x. So x is 4. X is equal to 4. Divide both the sides by 2. Now, how do you find the perimeter? This over here, see all this, it's like a square, isn't it? Now, what you can do is, if this is 16, this is also 16. Don't you agree? And then this is 8, this is 8, this is also 16. All 16, 16, 16 sides you can add or use the formula of a perimeter of a square. That is, sorry, over here they have not used, but what you can do is 4 times 16 you can do and get 64. It's up to you. You can see this particular figure and understand this is a square. The formula for perimeter of a square is 4 times side. If you do not remember the formula, don't worry. Add the 16, this, and you will get 64. So anyhow you do, you will get the same answer. And then over here it's the same thing. You can find the x over here. These both can be equated and simply solve it. Solve it by yourself and then double check your answers. All the answers are solved up over here. The 22nd topic is to find average rate of change of f of x over a specified interval. This is also again a simple problem where you must just remember one formula. And once you remember the formula, you can easily solve it up. Now, the intervals are given as x1, x2. Then, the function f of x over here is given. Now, the formula is simple like this. F of x2 minus f of x1 divided by x2 minus x1. It's average. Now, average is always, getting the middle value, but this is average of a function based on the interval. So this is the formula. Or you might have seen, it's a slope formula, similar to the slope. It's absolutely the slope formula, sorry. It's y2 minus y1, sorry, divided by x2 minus x1. You might have remembered this. Y means the function at the particular value of x. Okay, that's it. So now what this means is the interval, second interval must be put instead of x. See over here, I'll just put it down over here. So instead of x, you need to put 4. It'll be 4 squared minus 10 into 4 plus 5. This is the f of x2 minus, what is f of x1? Just put this value over here. It'll be minus, open the bracket, minus 4 the whole square minus 10 into minus 4 plus 5. This is the second function, f of x1, divided by x2 minus x1 be 4 minus of minus 4. Put this in the calculator, you will get the answer. So all of this in the calculator directly, it'll be, open the brackets appropriately, 4 square, sorry, 4 square minus 10 times 4 is 40, but I'll just write it as it is, plus 5. Close the bracket, minus, again open the bracket, but now there are two brackets open, so again one more bracket for minus 4, close the bracket, square, minus 10 times minus 4, so open the bracket again, and then lastly plus 5, close the bracket, divided by 4 minus of minus 4, and you will get the answer minus 10. So this is it. Your answer is minus 10. You can do it a little bit differently. Same formula, you can see f of x2, that is 4 minus f of x1, that is minus 4, divided by 4 minus of minus 4. But they have solved f of x not directly, individually. F of 4 is so on, they have found it, and f of minus 4 is so much, they have found it, and then they have finally put it in the formula over here and solved it. It'll be the same. So it's very easy. The average rate of change over this particular interval over here is minus 10. Now, similarly, you can solve the other problems. There's no change in all these problems. It's just the same thing. You can see the same formula used everywhere. Everywhere it's the same thing. Now, I will tell you another way to check the answer. Always, you see the average formula when the intervals are like this, from minus 4 to 4 or minus 3 to 3. Since it's a quadratic function, will be the middle term, that is the b value. Now, what is the b value over here? It's minus 10. So that's the answer. Over here, it's 4. That's the answer. 1, 8. There's nothing over here. There's no x value. That means 0 or minus 3. Now, I won't go in detail, but see the graph generally. Imagine they're asking same intervals, minus 3. It'll be the same on both the sides. This is not so important. The graph is not important because this is quadratic. I just drew a parabola. All are quadratic functions. So in such cases, when the intervals are same over here, you can remember the b value will be the average rate of change. But still, do the formula, solve it using the formula over here. That is f of x2 minus f of x1 divided by x2 minus x1. And then solve it by yourself because you need to write the steps. The formula must be written, the substitution must be written, and then the answer. But then double check the answer with the b values of the quadratic functions. This is the last topic from the exam scheme. This is the 23rd topic. There are two more questions that will be asked in the exam. They are bonus questions. The objectives are not disclosed. They can be any topics which was taught to you in the classes throughout the term 2. Now, the last topic is on permutations to find probabilities. We will solve all the three questions. They're similar to it, but not exactly the same method though. Over here, about four numbers, what is the probability that a 7-digit telephone number generated using the digits 2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 7, and 3 is this particular number? So now, whenever you get telephone numbers or letters, arrangement of words, first you need to look into the arrangement, that is the number of digits given to us. It's 7. And what are the digits now? 2, 3, 2. See over here, all these are being repeated. 2 is repeated 3 times, and 3 is repeated twice over here. So, if I keep the digit 2 first or second, is it going to make any difference? No. So now you must remember, when the digits are repeated, you must divide those particular digits. Now let's see how many total digits are there. From permutations, you might know to find the probability of the 7 digits, it's 7 factorial. But what do you do about these digits? You need to divide them. How many times 2 is repeated? It's 3 times, so it's 3 factorial. Multiplied with how many times 3 is repeated? 2 factorial. Now, please do not think because it's 3 over here, I've written 3. No. Now, imagine if there was 7 and 7, then I would have written again a 2 factorial because 7 was repeated twice. So now this is the situation over here. To solve factorial, you might have remembered, you need to keep on multiplying with its lower numbers. Like you should subtract 1 and keep on multiplying until we reach 1. That means it's 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3. You can keep it as 3 factorial and you can cancel it, but I'll just write all the extension over here and 1. Now over here, 3 factorial will be 3 into 2 into 1. Multiplied with 2 factorial, that's 2 into 1. You can skip writing 1, but just for your understanding, I've written over here. 3, 2, 1 cancels over here. 2 cancels with 2 over here. You can put this in calculator and solve it. You will get the answer. Or you can also use the calculator directly to double check your answer. See, I'll just do the 7 into 6 into 5 into 2. This is my answer, 420. But let me just do this directly as well. It is 7. Factorial symbol is using shift and this over here. Factorial divided by 3 factorial times 2 factorial. The answer is 420. So these are the possibilities. So 420 possible digits can be formed, 4 numbers can be formed using these digits. That is the total possibility. But they have asked you one specific number. Now, what is the probability of doing this one specific number? So, it is the favorable outcome. What is this? It's 1 divided by the total possible outcome. So, this is the probability. It is very low. 1 divided by 420. So, that is the answer. Whatever I just now told is explained over here. And you can see over here and do it up. So, same way, let's solve this next one. A store randomly assigns their employees' work identification number to track productivity. Each number consists of 5 digits ranging from 1 to 9. Now, so there is a selection. Each number consists of 5 digits, but the total number of digits is 1 to 9. All the possibilities that n is total number of digits is 9. And what is the selection of digits? R is only 5. So this is the thing. If the digits cannot repeat, find the probability that a randomly generated number is this particular number. So now first we need to find all the possibilities that can be done with this particular condition of 5 digits. So now you might remember the NPR formula. NPR is used, the permutation formula is used to find the total possibilities. Now what does this mean? NPR is a formula. You can use it by just solving using this formula. It's n factorial divided by n minus r, the whole factorial. Sorry, this is a n. Now this is the formula that is used. Now what do you do over here? So equal to, so what happens over here is n factorial is, n is 9, so it's 9 factorial divided by r is 5. 9 minus 5 the whole factorial. 9 minus 5 will be 4. I'll just write it as 4 factorial. And then we know how to solve the factorials. You have to just put it up and solve it. I'll just use the calculator for now. It'll be 4 factorial over here and 9 factorial over here. And the answer is 15,120. So the store can assign total possible numbers of 5 digits using 1 to 9, which all the numbers are different, There can be 15,120 different or unique digits. So now what is the probability that this particular digit is selected? This is only one particular digit divided by 15,120. So it's a very, very slim probability. So now if you just inverse this up, it'll be 1 divided by. So the probability is so less. You can see it'll be, if I multiply it by 100, sorry, over here, this one, even if I multiply by 100, it'll be 0.006 percent. So it's a very, very less probability that this particular, in random, that this particular number will appear. So over here, the answer is 1 by 15,120. The method is explained over here, just now whatever I told. Same way, this is the last problem about student council. The table shows the finalists for class president. The order in which they will give speeches will be chosen randomly. Now, over here, these are all the class president finalists. So these may be asked. So there's Alan Shepard, Chaminade Hudson, Denny Murano, Kelly Baker, and so on. All these names. So there are total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names. So there are total 7 people. N is 7. Now let's see the question A. What is the probability that Denny, Kelly, and Chaminade are the first 3 speakers in any order? That means what is R? How many are selected? 3. So before we solve this probability of these 3 being in any order, let us solve the total possibilities that group of 3 will be selected. So it'll be 7, P, 3. So I will just show you another way. You can directly put this in calculator. That is, you can use 7. P can be solved by using over here this shift and multiplication, and 3 is over here. You can just double check your answers. Please do the steps because this is in writing, and double check your answer. So the answer is 210. So there are 210 possible ways to select group of 3 people. Now, after selecting these, from the 7 finalists, 3 are taken at once. So this is the possibilities, 210. Now, what is the probability that Denny, Kelly, or Chaminade are selected? And look over here. The order doesn't matter in any order. That means Denny can be first, or Kelly can be first, or Chaminade can be first, or these can be second, or the third, any order. So that means there is 3 people, so 3 factorial is the possibility over here. So we have 3 factorial of favorable outcome divided by the total outcome, that is 210. You can put this in calculator. 3 factorial by 210 is 1 by 35. So that is how you solve the part A. The part B, they have given an order. Look over here. They have told Denny is the first person who will give the speech. Second will be Kelly. And third will be Chaminade. So this is a particular order. How many possibilities are there for this particular order? It's only 1. Divided by the total possibilities of 3 people is 210. So this would be the answer for the second question. So just remember, what is the favorable outcome? This is the favorable. It's only possible 1 time. But over here, there was no order. So we use 3 factorial. And always, please be thorough with the NPR. The N is the total number and R is the selection. And you can easily find the total possibilities. So total possible outcomes. That's basically the sample space. And now that is the end of all the topics. Please do solve it by yourselves and then do check the answers. So we have come to an end. All the videos have been explained it one by one. All the objectives are there. If you have any doubts, please write the comments. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. I wish you all the best. And if you have found this videos useful, do like them and subscribe to my channel. All the best for your exams, dear students.